The Fighting Hawks pregame show, presented by Sanford Health. Here for all, here for good.
Welcome inside the Alaris Center for Midco Sports coverage of NCAA football. The final Saturday of the FCS regular season brings a high-stakes top 25 showdown to Grand Forks as the Fighting Hawks of North Dakota host the Jackrabbits of South Dakota State. It is great to have you with us for this one, alongside former North Dakota captain Ryan Kosowski and our crew. I'm Alex Seinert. If you thought the playoffs started next week, think again, Ryan, for this pair of 7-4 Dakota Territory rivals. Today means everything.
It certainly does. A lot on the line for both of these programs. You look, if you're North Dakota right now, you got an opportunity for a possible bye in this. And if you're South Dakota State, the last thing you want is to you lose your last 5. You do not want to leave this in the committee's hands. You want to get a win today. Both these coaching staffs are looking at their team saying, control what you can control, and that's going out and getting a win today.
A month ago, South Dakota State was number 2 in the nation, 7-0. The thought of the Jackrabbits missing the playoffs was far-fetched to say the least, but the Jacks have lost 4 in a row. A number of injuries to all Valley players have been a key cause of that, including their star quarterback, Chase Mason.
Yeah, I mean, you look at one of the most elite players in all of FCS football. That is Chase Mason, a guy that is a true dual-threat quarterback, a guy that can do everything out there on the field. And you can see the numbers right there. When he is not on the field, they're a completely different team. Definitely a dynamic player for the Jackrabbits and a guy that they really want to have out there.
The Jacks senior signal caller, a game-time decision today. Meanwhile, for the home team, it is senior day here at the Alaris Center. It's a group of 20 decorated seniors. Johnny Wiltshire epitomizes this group.
He certainly does. I mean, if you look at last week, too, the game that he had, I really thought that pick 6 was the momentum swing North Dakota needed in that game to really go out and beat Murray State. I just think he has been a guy that has been a leader, has come in, has really epitomized North Dakota football, and has been a great addition to this football team.
Wiltshire and the Fighting Hawks know that a win means they get at least one more home game in this building, while South Dakota State has just as much at stake. Stick around. It is an old-fashioned winner-go-home NCC showdown here on the final day of the FCS regular season. It's South Dakota State and North Dakota. Kickoff is next. The gridiron back in 1906. Today will serve as the 91st edition of this rivalry, and very few of the previous 90 have meant as much as this one. The winner moves on to the playoffs. The loser has no guarantees their season continues. Both of these proud Missouri Valley Football Conference programs are led by first-year head coaches. Eric Schmitz in the middle of the scrum saying hello to Dan Jackson. Two former linebackers at their respective alma maters now leading their programs, both at 7-4, knowing a playoff berth is in reach. Eric Schmidt was hired on December the 8th this past year. Dan Jackson put in charge of the Jackrabbits just 23 days later on New Year's Eve after Jimmy Rogers left for Washington State. Both coming back to schools that they love. And as we said, they both have had great moments this season, some valleys as well. A chance to punch their ticket to the postseason with the victory today.
Well, and both guys have a ton of respect for each other. You know, they both mentioned that this week. A lot of respect for the way they run their programs. And like you said, Alex, guys that have a ton of pride in their programs, in the way that they run their program day to day, their universities, what they offer. And those guys are going to have to battle each other out in recruiting for the next couple of years here. That, again, two younger fellas, as far as they've paid their dues, they've waited their time to get this opportunity, and they're going to make the most of it.
It will be South Dakota State getting set to kick off first. Jackrabbits winning the toss and deferring to the second half. Very simple situation. It is win or wait here at the Alaris on the final day of the regular season. South Dakota State trying to bounce back. They have not lost 5 in a row since the new millennium dawned back in 2000. They have been a model of consistency, injuries derailing their season a bit, but still everything to play for. Sawyer Seidel back on the goal line, awaiting this kickoff. Anthony Erickson, actually Ryan Harrington, excuse me, the freshman from Ankeny, getting set to do the honors. And we are underway here in Grand Forks. 7-4 South Dakota State, 7-4 North Dakota. It'll be Jerry Kaminsky and the Fighting Hawks with the football first from the 25-yard line. Kaminsky, the first-year starter out of the suburbs of Madison, Wisconsin. Had such a phenomenal start to the season. The numbers have tapered off just a bit of late, but still one of the more effective signal callers in the Valley, Ryan.
He certainly is, and I think, again, he's a guy that continues to grow. He's a guy that continues to understand the system, understand the offense, and the competition as well. I mean, he continues to take what the defense gives, understanding that the deep shot isn't always going to be there. Take the underneath routes, take the easy throws. I think that's what really has helped Jerry Kaminsky be as successful as he has this entire season.
First and 10 from the 25. It is Sawyer Seidel, who's approaching a 1,000-yard season on the ground. The sophomore from the Twin Cities out across the 30-yard line, a pickup of 5. As we look at the rest of the starting lineup, brought to you by All True for this North Dakota offense. It is a front 5, the 701 moving company that have mainly been intact for much of this season. Ben Buxa leading the way at center. B.J. Fleming was a bit of a doubt coming in. He got banged up after another strong performance at Murray State, but he is in the lineup and he already has a catch on the second play from scrimmage. The Northern Arizona transfer having an all-conference type season, moving the chains to the 36.
And the way that he has been this entire year, he comes in, he leads the team in receptions, is the guy that Jerry obviously has a good relationship as far as when to throw the football, where to throw the football. And B.J. Fleming, although teams know that the ball is going to him more times than not, continues to produce.
6 foot, 180 from Aledo, Texas, Fleming. Out of the backfield, this is Hayden Stay, the junior tight end, into South Dakota State territory. Just the 6th grab of the season for the 6'4", 260-pound junior, who's a little banged up as he goes to the sideline.
And they don't throw the ball often to those tight ends in those kind of routes, but that's why you do it. You slip them out, the defense forgets about him, and there he is wide open. Got a good block downfield by Seidel as well to carry that up for a first down for North Dakota.
Pickup of 15, Kaminsky to Stay. Back-to-back first downs to open the game, and now it's Kaminsky on the grounds. Student body left, gains about 3. Kaminsky, an underrated runner, 7 touchdowns on the ground this season, approaching 500 yards for the redshirt sophomore from Sun Prairie. Your South Dakota State defensive starters brought to you by All True. Kobe Claiborne, preseason All-American at defensive tackle, has been playing inside and outside this season. Dawson Ripperda, a really good one on the edge. Cullen McShane was ejected for targeting in the first half of the Illinois State game. He's back today. He and Joe Ullman, some of the better linebackers in the Valley. The secondary a little bit younger and inexperienced. They've been susceptible to giving up the big play at times this year. Colton Brunell with his first carry of the football game. Brunell, the redshirt freshman from Columbus, Wisconsin, a short gain off right tackle.
Yeah, and more of these running backs have had to step up. Colton Brunell being one of them with the Gavin Zebarth injury. get a guy that continues to come in, be that kind of that power runner, the guy that can get in between the tackles, kind of give you those hard-nosed runs when you need them.
First third down that Kaminsky and this offense has faced today. They need the 39 to keep the drive going. Kaminsky with time will take a shot downfield. This is Hoskins off the hands of Christian Hoskins. Good ball by Kaminsky. Would have been a touchdown for the speedster. Hoskins just could not haul it in.
Yeah, a really good well-thrown football here by Jared Kaminsky, right over top. And right there, Hoskins usually comes down with that. He's going to want that one back. That's an easy touchdown for North Dakota. Well-thrown football, good play design. Just wasn't able to haul that one in.
South Dakota State dodging a bullet. Luke Silvernail on to punt this away to Miles Taylor, standing back at his 10-yard line. This will bounce inside the 15 and be fielded there by one of North Dakota's captains, Sam Strandell. So UND's offense gets into Jackrabbit territory, but can get no further than midfield. All of the intrigue was about who would be taking the first snap today for South Dakota State. It is the redshirt freshman, Jack Henry, getting the nod once again.
And again, I think this is a player that has continued to grow. I thought second half last week really started to play much better, really started to feel more comfortable. And as this season goes on and as he needs more reps and more reps, he's continuing to get better. And I think if you're South Dakota State, again, you might want to have, if you're North Dakota, you need to know where he's at. He's really become a guy that South Dakota State can count on, has played much better as the season has gone on here.
Third consecutive start now for the 6'2", 215-pound redshirt freshman. The offensive players around him brought to you by All True. It is a much-changed offensive line for South Dakota State from last year. Quentin Christensen, another preseason All-American, the only returner from that group that were so good. Kenton Bigbo, by the way, on the right side, unavailable today. So John Pika, the converted tight end, will start at tackle. Shane Willenbring and Nate Adams in the middle, switching spots. That's an athletic catch on 2nd down and 9 by the Nebraska transfer, Alex Bullock. Second in the Valley this season in receptions per game, and Bullock a little shaken up as he went down to ground.
This is a great effort to go up and get that football. Yeah, but you're right. I think he comes up hobbling a little bit. He's going off to the sideline right now. That'd be a huge loss for South Dakota State. The guy that's got 61 receptions this year is a guy that really is the safety net as far as throwing the football out to, and you hope he's all right.
Lofton Ogroski, who has had a really breakout sophomore season after being so good as a freshman, still unavailable today. The receiving room perhaps the deepest on this Jackrabbit offense. Bullock would be a big miss. We hope he can get back into the contest shortly as we see the first carry of the day. Julius Loffridge, the Fordham transfer, 3,000 career rushing yards with the Rams, able to plow his way for a gain of 5 to the 29. The Fighting Hawks, led by head coach Eric Schmidt on the defensive side of the football with that new 4-2-5 scheme. Lance Rucker, Caden Vig, two of the top sack artists in the Valley on the edges. Malachi McNeil having another all-conference type season. And then in the secondary, Zach Lewis, back-to-back games with double-digit tackles. He's been fantastic this year since coming over from Northern Arizona.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about a playmaker and a guy that had to come in here, really learn the system. He has just absolutely dominated back there. Guy that Coach Schmidt really trusts. It's also nice to see, you know, as the injuries happen and as people go down, you need other guys to come in, and all of a sudden you look out there, you got Bennett Walker back, which is a guy who's really battled injuries this year, has really fought his way to be able to get back out there. So seeing 10 out there for North Dakota is a huge sign with all the injuries to that cornerback spot.
They lost Avery Scott last week to a season-ending injury at Murray State. They lost their other starting cornerback the week previous, Antonio Blewett, who's second in the Valley with 3 interceptions this year. Bennett Walker picking a good time to get healthy, certainly the San Diego State transfer. Loffridge on the ground, able to make this 2nd and short after a gain of 6. SDSU pushing the pile early. They're a run-first type team. Yeah,
they certainly are. And when you think of South Dakota State, you think running the football. And like you said, a lot of those offensive linemen are not there. But these guys they've got are still super talented, still take a lot of pride in what they do. And that's moving the defensive line and getting that run game going.
Loffridge able to make the first man miss across the 45-yard line to the 47. Another first down for the Jacks. Their 3rd on their first possession of the first quarter.
With a lot of movement up front, too. Those offensive linemen are pulling, they're twisting, they're doing whatever they need to get that hole opened up. And that's back-to-back long runs for South Dakota State. That offensive line's doing a really nice job getting on the defenders.
And this is against the best rush defense in the Valley. North Dakota limiting teams to just 97 yards per game on the ground, 5th best in the country. But the Jackrabbits have been gashing the Fighting Hawks early. Another pickup of 10 into North Dakota territory from Loffridge. He had 4 carries for 3 yards in the loss last week to Illinois State. He's already got 4 carries today, and he's already over 20.
Well, and he's at about 6 yards before anybody gets a hand on him. You see that pocket is clean right there for Loffridge to run through. North Dakota's got to get off those blocks and got to get him down before he gets a full head of steam at him.
1st and 10 from the 43. This is Henry. He'll take a shot towards the sidelines. That's Bullock back in the game. Bennett Walker was in on the coverage, and Alex Bullock got his feet in for the 2nd time along the boundary on this possession. Another nice pitch and catch from the redshirt freshman to the senior.
Yeah, this is a long throw for Jack Henry. And he's got to put that right on the money, which he does. And I think they might take a look at this because this is really close to see if he actually got his feet down or his foot down on this one. Heck of a throw on that, but we'll see here if his foot got in.
Peter Kissinger is our replay official today. Maurice Red also in that room. David Hergert, our referee. What do you see, Ryan?
I think that's going to be incomplete. I think when that foot comes down, it's on the white. Right there, you can see that right foot is in the white area there. I think this is going to be an incomplete. And heck of a throw, great effort here. But as you see that foot come down, when the completion is made, he's out of bounds on that.
At the moment, it was an 18-yard completion. Henry to Bullock. It would have set up South Dakota State at the 25-yard line. But I would agree with you, Ryan. Based on those pictures, it looks like this might be overturned. 7:47 remaining in this first quarter. South Dakota State, number 22 in the nation. North Dakota, number 13. Both teams have driven into the opposition territory on their first possession. This is a bit uncharacteristic for the North Dakota defense. They have not allowed a touchdown in the first quarter since the Montana game, week 2 of the season back in September. They've gotten off to great starts en route to this 7-4 record. Even in some of their losses, again, they've lost 2 of their last 3. Look at the South Dakota State booth. There's Tyler Merriam, the great radio play-by-play guy, on the call again today for Jackrabbit Radio. I think this Jackrabbit offense knows they're going back to midfield instead of being set up just outside the red zone. No official confirmation yet, but off camera, the ball has been spotted back at the 43. Here's the official call.
After review, the pass was incomplete. 2nd down.
Yeah, well thrown football, great effort here, but you'll see the right foot. It's the right call. Good job to take the time, look at that one, make sure you get the call right.
So 2nd and 10 now. First incompletion of the drive for Henry. That's Bullock in motion. They'll go back to the ground. This is one of their exciting freshman running backs, Corey Blair Jr., who's been banged up since the early stages of the season. Big kid, 6'3", 210, true freshman from North Carolina. Better here by North Dakota.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what they needed to do. They need to come down, make sure that you're taking on blocks, you're not catching blocks. You saw on that one the offensive lineman get pushed back in. That's what you need to do. Now you bring up a 3rd down here. And North Dakota likes to bring pressure on these kind of downs. See what Coach Schmidt dials up.
South Dakota State 38% on 3rd down this season. That's 8th in the Valley. They've got to get to the 33 to move the chains. Fighting Hawks bring the blitz. Henry slings one downfield, too strong for Graham Goring. Good pressure by the defense, and North Dakota holds near midfield to force the punts.
Well, that's a good stand there for North Dakota. You look at that drive, South Dakota State comes out, smashes it right at North Dakota, running the football. Good answer there to get off the field there and on that 3rd down, bring a little pressure, set up a 4th down here for South Dakota State.
There is Zach Lewis standing back on his 8-yard line. Max Pelham, the senior from Ankeny, Iowa, who got banged up last week early on against Illinois State, mishandled the snap on the first punt of the game and took a shot and was unable to continue. He is one of the best punters in the Valley, though, and he shows you why. Pinning North Dakota down inside the 2-yard line. Cody Cotton was down there to field it. Perfect punt from Pelham, who's #1 in the Valley in total yards on average this season. The senior doing his job on senior day. Fighting Hawks backed up on offense when we come back. '20 seniors being recognized today here at the Alara Center for North Dakota. Eric Schmidt has said everybody's got their own story. Some of the guys have been here for 6 years, some for just 6 months. He emphasized, though, it is such an accomplishment to complete your degree, to play college football for 4, 5, 6 seasons. He's incredibly proud of this group who stuck around and saw things out despite the fact it was a brand new coaching staff this year.
Well, and I think that's the key point, too, is there was an opportunity for some of these guys to leave, some of these guys to go in the portal. They stuck it out. And there's something about your class, too, guys that you've battled with, and also guys you bring in. And all of a sudden you get new guys on your team that, for you to have success, they need to buy in. They need to be all in on the program, and that's what these guys have done who have transferred in. You need to bring in the right guys. Coach Schmidt did that, but that class has got a ton of talented players, but also a ton of great people.
Sawyer Seidel, who is just an underclassman still, the sophomore, able to get North Dakota out of the shadow of the goalpost, the pickup of 14 on 1st and 10 from the 2 after that impressive punt from Pelham. Jerry Kaminsky and company with a little breathing space. Kaminsky under pressure, eludes the rush. He will be bumped out along the North Dakota sideline, and that will draw a flag. There are 3 flags in total on the field, 1 along the boundary, a couple more closer to the hash marks. Great improvisation by Kaminsky. As we said, is a definite threat with his legs. It looked like Isaac Frichte, the offensive coordinator, wanted to take another shot downfield. Good coverage this time by the Jacks.
Personal foul, illegal low block, defense, number 47. That penalty will be enforced from the end of the run. After the play, personal foul, defense, number 11. Unnecessary hit out of bounds. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
A pair of personal fouls against the Jacks.
Well, that's huge. I mean, you get the one in the play, and then you get the one after the play, and that is, again, costly penalties on those two. I think Kaminsky, that's what he's done, though. He hasn't forced ball. You saw him continue to look downfield, which is great. he didn't force it. But look at where the ball is spotted now after those back-to-back penalties. Boy, that's costly for the Jackrabbits.
2 plays ago, North Dakota was on their own 2-yard line. And now, after the Seidel carry, the Kaminsky run, and 30 penalty yards, UND is into Jackrabbit territory on the 48, just where they were on their last drive. That is Fleming in motion. Seidel in the pistol. Fake to him. Kaminsky will keep it. Good job to spin off the initial hit from Jalen B. Lee, the junior safety.
Well, you see right there, that was where the low block came in on 47. That was the first call, and then the late hit on Jerry Kaminsky as well. So 30 yards and penalties on that one play. It's North Dakota in a great spot here on the field.
So it's Kyton Fife, the junior linebacker who had the low block. Joe Ullman, the junior middle backer, on the late hit. Kaminsky now. Fleming got the grab. Close to the Hugo's red zone for B.J. Fleming. Nice catch right in front of the Jackrabbits bench.
It's just so fun to watch B.J. Fleming run his routes. I mean, everything is just perfect timing, and Jerry Kaminsky knows that as well. I mean, that's a look to where you're going deep, and right at the last minute, you cut that thing out. Kaminsky knows where you're going, delivers a great football, big pickup for North Dakota, but it's just so fun to watch B.J. Fleming just continue to perfect his craft out there, and one of the reasons he's so special is that route running ability.
Gain of 21. Seidel on 1st and 10, stopped right at the line of scrimmage. Good penetration inside by this Jackrabbit front. That was Jay Syfor, the first man to meet him. Aaron Wolfkale Holstein also in as well.
When you look at the size of South Dakota State, they've still got the guys up there up front defensively. And that's why they have a lot of success. Stopping the run game is the big guys up front that are able to get off blocks, read the angles on things, and get down and make those tackles.
Dawson Ripperter, by the way, the defensive end, 99 in there. South Dakota's top sacker this season. Here is Nate DeMontenac on the crossing pattern. Hit after a gain of 6. The senior wideout from Mississauga, Ontario. He spoke this week about the transition coming from Canadian football, playing for UND, being embraced by this Grand Forks community. It means so much to him to be out here on senior day.
It does, and I think for North Dakota too, the feeling is mutual. This is a guy that continues to improve. Look at where he's at with Coach Schmidt coming in. It just seems like Nate DeMontenac has become such a pivotal part of that offense. And Isaac Frichte knows that he can get him the football. And a guy that really has been a playmaker for UND.
He has been Kaminsky's second favorite target this season. He has North Dakota back into the Hugo's red zone. I should say not back, into the Hugo's red zone for the first time today. 3rd down and 4, though. The Kaminsky keeper will net 3. Jackrabbit defense stiffens just in front of the chains. 4th down on the way, and you would expect the Fighting Hawks offense to stay out there.
Yeah, just quarterback power here, hoping that you can get that 1st down. Just not enough. Offense stays out there for North Dakota right now.
It's been an adventure this season on special teams for North Dakota. C.J. Elrich, their starting place kicker, has missed the last handful of games. They will keep the offense on. Kaminsky keeping it himself, has the 1st down and more. Jerry Kaminsky! Touchdown, there is the signal. The ball came out, but the sophomore quarterback had crossed the plane, and it's 6-0 Fighting Hawks.
Same type play. You're going to see Kaminsky follow Brunel here. Just a quarterback load. You've got a lead blocker up there in the middle. Doesn't get touched until he's in the end zone. Great call by Isaac Frichte. Big touchdown for North Dakota.
Fantastic block by Brunel, coming across to stop Aiden Dotterman, allowing Kaminsky to scamper in for his 8th rushing touchdown of the season. Kenton Loftman, the redshirt freshman place kicker from Shawnee, Kansas on. He was a perfect 5 for 5 on PATs last week at Murray State. He is now 19 for 19 on extra points this season. 2:59 remaining in the first. A 98-yard drive for the Fighting Hawks puts number 13 North Dakota out in front against their rivals from the south. first, the home team in a must-win situation for both them and the visitors, able to strike first on their second offensive possession. The squad from Brookings making the trip up I-29. They won last year in this fixture, in this building, in a game that was not particularly close. North Dakota took the lead in that contest as well, before South Dakota State stormed back with 28 unanswered in the second quarter. Bit of a different Jackrabbit squad, of course, that has made their way to the Alerus Center today. Loffman will send this kickoff end over end to the 10-yard line. This is Jack Smith, the redshirt freshman, who takes it out across the 20. Step aside for just a moment. Jackrabbit football down 7-0 when we come back to the Alerus.
There's a lot to like about lignite coal. It's reliable and affordable, and in North Dakota we have an amazing amount of it, enough to last us over 800 years. Thousands of people work in the North Dakota lignite industry, and they're some of the best paying jobs in the state. And with carbon capture innovations, even more economic growth will come to North Dakota. Find out more at lignite.com/diamond. Brought to you by the Lignite Energy Council, the voice for North Dakota coal.
Life is full of beautiful moments. Adventure, fun, excitement, and sometimes the unexpected can happen. With Nodak Insurance, you can keep doing what you do. Use our technology to file claims quickly online, on your phone, or lean on our award-winning service team, so you can get back to what matters, living life uninterrupted. Nodak Insurance. Agents with answers.
Picture yourself under the hood at Lake Region State College. Our 1- and 2-year automotive technology programs are nationally certified by the Institute for Automotive Service Excellence. Picture your success in the classroom and apply your knowledge with hands-on training in our close-knit environment. We know you by name. Scholarships available, including $1,000 for first-year students toward purchase of tools. Picture your future and find out more at lrsc.edu. Lake Region State College. We change lives.
A moment ago, North Dakota, an impressive lignite coal power drive that started back on their own 2-yard line after a couple of big penalties against South Dakota State. Got North Dakota into SDSU territory. Jerry Kaminsky did the rest. Yeah, and the offensive line, too. I mean, you look at those guys, getting the area for Jerry to run through. They want to have the quarterback run game be part of their offense. And as the season goes on, they've done more and more of that, trusting Jerry to not take a lot of hits, make the right decisions. And on plays like that, when you've got a Colton Brunell leading the blade block for you, that's what you want to see. Jack Henry out there on 1st and 10. This is Coleman Kuntz, the Sac State transfer tight end, able to get a couple. Looks like forward progress will bring the football across the 25-yard line. A little pushing and shoving after the fact. No need for any flags to fly. And there is Chase Mason, who did warm up in full uniform. He's taking off the shoulder pads now, though, the senior quarterback from Hurley, South Dakota. 7-0 this team was as a starter. Got banged up in the Murray State game. It was a lower body injury that didn't seem like a big deal at the time, but he has been unable to go since. They're on their 3rd starting quarterback now. I believe that was James Basinger, one of the other freshman running backs for the Jacks, who could find no space. Jai Martin, the senior safety, coming up on the stop. North Dakota ran a safety blitz here. You're going to see Jai Martin come flying into your screen, getting off the block and getting that tackle in the backfield. If you want to play safety at North Dakota, you need to be involved in the run game. You need to come up and play in the backfield. You need to be aggressive, and that's exactly what Jai Martin did. He's one of the leading tacklers this season in his first year as a starter. A loss of 2 sets up 3rd down and 8 for Henry in this Jack offense. The out routes into the North Dakota bench. The senior going was the intended target. South Dakota State goes 3 and out. Well, just to go back to your thought on Chase Mason too, Alex, I mean, if you follow FCS football, you understand how important of a player that is for South Dakota State. They have had a ton of injuries, none bigger than him. And again, on plays like that where I look at a guy that can take off too, he just brings so much to an offense that
You just wish for South Dakota State that he can get back out there and be able to play, because he's a dynamic player for the Jackrabbits.
Pelamon for his second punt of the day, and he's averaging nearly 50 yards of punts on the season. This might be kick-catch interference this time. Cotton was flying down. He's a speedster. He made the great catch on the punt earlier to pin North Dakota at their own 2. This time he got a little too close to Zach Lewis. And then there'll be another costly penalty against the visitors that'll assist North Dakota greatly in terms of field position. Chase Mason, by the way, one of 7 starters for South Dakota State, not available for this contest. Add in the fact they only had 5 returning starters from last year's Valley Championship team. It's a lot to overcome.
There is no foul for kick-catch interference as the defender was contacted. Be first down.
So they will pick up the flag. There was a little bit of contact with Cotton and one of the North Dakota players. It was Grant Tyluki, one of the backup safeties, running down and perhaps just had enough of a bump where they will take the flag away. And that's a big boost for South Dakota State because UND is now back on their own 11 instead of closer to the 35.
Yeah, you look at where this drive would have started off if that was called for North Dakota. That's a big call off there for the refs. Big play here.
B.J. Fleming to the races. Nobody will catch him. 89 yards for the touchdown. He has been a big play threat since day 1.
Oh, it's just a slant route up top. There's nobody in the secondary there. There's no safeties. Miles Taylor gets beat on a slant by B.J. Fleming, and you're not going to catch him once he has the ball. Great call by North Dakota. Absolutely nobody over the middle of the field there. Touchdown for the Fighting Hawks.
That is his 3rd touchdown catch of the season, over 75 yards. The Northern Arizona transfer, a shoestring grab. As you said, Ryan, nobody behind the play. Everybody for South Dakota State up near the line of scrimmage. They have been susceptible to the big play. This Jackrabbit secondary, Kaminsky and Fleming able to make them pay. 14-0 now, North Dakota coming out flying in the first.
B.J. Fleming just continues to be that guy for North Dakota. And boy, when you got one-on-one coverage against B.J. Fleming, if you're UND, you're going to take that all game long, especially with no safety help over the top. And if he gets that ball in his hands like you saw right there, the speed aspect that he brings, you're going to have a heck of a time catching that guy. I tell you what, he's got all the tools to be one of the best receivers in this conference.
7th touchdown grab of the year. One of his more impressive. He really had to go down to scoop that up, and then he was gone with nobody in front of him. So now 14-0. Jack Smith and the Jacks trailing by 2 scores. Kenton Loffman, a low line drive that will bounce and roll and eventually be scooped up. Matt Gehring, the backup linebacker from Sioux Falls, able to get it to the 20-yard line. Good coverage by North Dakota. South Dakota State need a spark here. They looked good on their first drive. Not much doing on their last offensive possession. See what Jack Henry and this offense can come up with on the road today with their season on the line. They need to win to guarantee them a spot in the FCS playoffs. 7-5 on the back of 5 straight losses likely will not be enough. The out route a little too far in front of Bullock this time. Jack Henry again, 6'2", 215, a tremendous athlete, an outstanding high school baseball player. He was all set to play that sport at the college level. Throws in the high 80s for a Del Rapids Courier team that was always in the mix for state championships. Won a couple of state titles, though, as a quarterback on the gridiron. During his senior season, he started to get some looks and decided, you know what, maybe this football thing's not so bad. And now he's been starting for the Jackrabbits in these last 3 games. Handing off to Julius Loffridge has been a good source of offense today for South Dakota State. Up to the 40-yard line. A pickup of 20 on 2nd and 10 for the Fordham transfer.
If I'm South Dakota State, that's what I continue to do. You had success on the first drive doing that. Hand it off to Loffridge. He's been able to gain chunk yards on North Dakota's defense in this first quarter. Continue to do that. Continue to rely on your offensive line. That's going to open up your passing game. But boy, if I'm SDSU, 15 is the guy I want to get the ball to right now, downhill.
They will keep it in his hands. Loffridge, the senior from Houston, able to get across the 40 to the 40, or the 45 to the 46-yard line. Loffridge now 6 carries, 54 yards. He's had some big games this season. 176 yards and 4 touchdowns on the ground in a victory against Youngstown State that started a bit like this for SDSU on the road, trailing big early. They were able to hang in, keep the ground game going, and mount the comeback to get the victory. They will have the football near midfield when we come back to the Alaris at the start of the second quarter. Dan Jackson's Jacks trailing 14-0 on the road. It has been the home side on senior day that have looked the part of an FCS playoff squad. They lead it by 2 scores after 15 minutes.
It could happen.
Been waiting for a chance to do something that matters, something big without a big price tag. Welcome to Northland Community and Technical College. Here you can have a big impact on a small campus in classrooms that mirror today's workplace, with instructors who teach from experience and know you by name. You've been waiting for a place like this. Are you ready?
You've seen the ads, the chaos, the pressure. You could shop anywhere. But at the Furniture Mart, we're keeping it real. Our goal is to earn your business with furniture that works for your life and deals to bring home what matters. Will you still find great doorbusters? Will you save more with us than with the other guys? Of course, but that's not the point. Shop the Furniture Mart this Black Friday. No gimmicks, no nonsense, real savings.
This game on Midco Sports is presented by Sanford Health, the proud healthcare partner of North Dakota Athletics.
Strong opening quarter for the home team. UND leading 14-0 over South Dakota State. Alex Heinert, Ryan Kosowski here with you from Grand Forks on Midco Sports. UND has gotten the job done in different ways. Field position has not been in their favor. They had one time-consuming drive where they marched downfield, another where they got it all on one play. The 89-yard connection from Kaminsky to Fleming just before the quarter break. South Dakota State's offense, though, has had success on the ground as Loffridge goes right up the middle to move the chains. What's SDSU doing here against this North Dakota rush defense, Ryan? Well,
I think it all starts up front. I think that offensive line is doing a really nice job of pulling around, getting on guys, you know, doing the tackle under, you know, those kind of things. It's not easy to do. If you play offensive line for South Dakota State, you need to be able to move. You can't just run straight forward. And that's what you're doing. You're seeing a lot of twists, a lot of guys going against the formation to go out and kick out blocks. And that's really has led to a lot of success. Is if you're a defensive lineman, you're sitting there, you get left, and all of a sudden you get hit from the other side by a pulling guard. And that's it's added to a lot of success for South Dakota State.
Here's Loffridge on the first down play right up the middle. That's Malachi McNeil, one of the senior captains, hanging on for dear life. Loffridge, 6'2", 215, a tough guy to bring down.
Yeah, he certainly is. I mean, you look at his body type, you look at the way he runs, just a physical back there. And when he gets a full head of steam, you don't want to be one-on-one with him. Very talented player for the Jackrabbits.
8 carries, 68 yards already for Loffridge, who gets it again. A little less room this time. Michael Devereaux, the Old Dominion transfer from El Reno, Oklahoma, the first one to meet him. 3rd down and short on the way. Good crowd here at the Alerus Center once again getting up on their feet. You see Jacks 0 for 2 on 3rd down today. It'll be Loffridge alongside Henry in the shotgun. 2 receivers, 2 tight ends for this Jackrabbit offense. Loffridge has the first. And then some inside the 35-yard line to the 34. Zach Lewis in on the stop. Good answer drive here for South Dakota State.
Yeah, and this is what we talked about. Keep feeding the ball. Keep running the football right at North Dakota. You're picking up first downs. You're having some momentum, and this is all going to open up that passing game. Instead of throwing on first down, second down, and get this run game going, and now all of a sudden you can do whatever you want from a playbook standpoint. And there's a lot of wear and tear right now on that defense for North Dakota. South Dakota State has been running right at them, picking up big yards, 5-6 yards every time.
Loffridge again, bouncing off the first man inside the 30. Eric Eidsness, who was in his 3rd stint as South Dakota State offensive coordinator. He was the OC back at the end of the 90s in the D2 era. Came back in under John Stiegelmeier a handful of years later. He had spent a little bit of time as the Winona State head coach, where his offensive coordinator was Isaac Frichte and his offensive line coach was Trevor Olson. Those were his first hires when he got the job at Winona State. Eidsness had been at Northern Illinois before coming back to Brookings. He's a South Dakota guy from Sioux Falls. Running the football in his DNA and in this Jackrabbit program DNA. And that's what we've seen throughout this first half as Loffridge again takes the toad up the middle for a minimal gain this time to set up another 3rd down.
Well, those are the kind of kids you recruit, kids that can run the football, kids that can get after you, want to play nasty football, and that's South Dakota State. Again, this is a big 3rd down here for UND's defense. Much better job on 1st and 2nd down there on the run game. See if they can get a stop here on 3rd down.
South Dakota State needs the 24 to move the chains. Loffridge again. Look at the pile move. He's going to be awfully close. The initial spot has him about a yard shy. South Dakota State's place kicker is Eli Stater, who's a graduate student, a former NAIA All-American who has a massive leg. He's kicked a 61-yarder in his time. But I would imagine we're going to see this Jackrabbit offense stay on the field, down by 14 on 4th and less than a yard.
And it's the yards after contact right now that's really making the difference, too. Loffridge is getting hit, but he's continuing to push forward for a couple yards. A big 4th down play.
South Dakota State needs less than a yard. They go to Loffridge. He's got it. Malachi McNeil in there again, but not before the graduate student able to push ahead to the 22. Give the big guys up front a lot of credit. They have been winning the line of scrimmage battle, especially on this drive.
100%. I mean, that's who all the credit goes to right now is those big guys up front getting on the defenders for North Dakota, moving them. You see all the pulling, all the moving around. Not easy to do. But these guys are extremely talented at it, and a big pickup there for South Dakota State to keep this drive alive.
The 605 Hogs, as they're called, missing Sam Hagan, one of their captains, former North Dakota guard, essentially out for the season. Kenyon Bigbo, their starting right tackle, out today as well after getting injured last week in the loss against Illinois State. Nate Adams has moved over to center. Shane Willenbrink has moved to guard. They've got a tight end, John Pika, playing tackle. And yet, they're doing this against the best rush defense in the FCS. Well, one of the best in the FCS, the best in the Valley. Much better this time, though, as Caden Vigg gets a little penetration to stop Loffridge in his tracks.
And that's what North Dakota has to do. They've got to get penetration in the backfield. They can't sit and catch blocks. Much better job on that play. Going back to that offensive line, too, there's a chemistry part, too. And when you're moving guys around and twisting, doing that stuff, you've got to have chemistry, and give more credit for South Dakota State as well, too, with all those newer guys in there having to move around.
First carry of the ball game for Josiah Johnson, the freshman from Milwaukee. Johnson, Basinger, and Blair, 3 true freshmen who will see carries this afternoon.
And you see 3 guys pulling on that play for South Dakota State. It just becomes a numbers game, and you just don't have as many defenders over there as they have offensive players with those 3 guys pulling around. Another big pickup there, 3rd and 1 here for South Dakota State.
Grayton Gannon, the junior tight end, with the big block to open things up. Another 3rd and 1. South Dakota State inside the Hugo's red zone. It's Bullock on the end around, and he's not going to get the first. Well read by North Dakota. Emmanuel Olagbaju, the St. Thomas transfer, the first to meet number 84 in white and blue.
North Dakota's ready for this play. You see all of a sudden Lance Rucker's out there right away, turns that thing back in. Another 4th down for South Dakota State. See North Dakota bringing some pressure on this down the line. You can see a safety coming down on something like this.
Jackrabbits have already converted 1 4th down on this drive, now faced with 4th and 2 inside the 15. Handoff up the middle. Just like that, SDSU right back within a touchdown, trailing 14-7. An impressive show of force by this Jackrabbit offense as they march on the ground for 6.
It's game day, and whether you're feeding the family or the entire team,
This and this South Dakota State offense go on the ground on this Lignite Coal power drive. A 17-play, 80-yard drive that lasts nearly 10 minutes.
Just continuing to run the football. They got themselves in some fourth down situations too, and just continue to convert, continue to keep the drive alive, and be able to answer like that with going down 14-0. If you're South Dakota State, you've got to be pleased with the way that drive went, and the fact that you were able to show that you can continue to run the football at UND. If you're North Dakota, you have prided yourself on being able to stop the run all season. That's obviously something Coach Schmidt is going to be looking at right now on the iPads, is what do we need to do, what do we need to fix to be able to stop that part of South Dakota State's game.
Julius Loffridge did much of the work on that drive. He's up to 87 yards on the ground today. Josiah Johnson, for the second week in a row, able to plunge in to cut the North Dakota lead in half. The kick here by Ryan Harrington, out of bounds.
Free kick out of bounds, kicking team. The ball will be placed at the 35-yard line. First down.
So the Fighting Hawks will have decent field position when we come back to the Alerus Center. Dan Jackson and South Dakota State, though, back within 7.
Nothing feels or performs better than a proper
We've talked at length about South Dakota State's injury troubles coming into this contest. North Dakota with several big ones of their own as we check in on our Sanford Health Injury Report. That is Avery Scott with the scooter on the sideline. The senior from Virginia had been a stalwart at starting cornerback in recent weeks. Did a phenomenal job against Bryce Lance in this building 2 weeks ago. Was injured last week, though, against Murray State and is unfortunately done for the season.
Yeah, and you just hate to see that. And like you said, a guy that really has come up and done a great job this year, has stepped in. Antonio Blewett, another guy that has gone down. We've talked about Gavin Zebar. So some of these injuries for North Dakota, they start to add up. And you just hate to see that, especially for seniors, guys that have poured their heart into the game of football, to see that. It could have been a costly mistake there for North Dakota. Sawyer Seidel able to get on that.
I believe that was Aiden Beheimer, the tight end, coming across the formation when Ben Buxer, the center, snapped it. Seidel quick thinking to dive on the football, but a loss of 6 means this is 2nd and 16 now. That's Seidel in motion. He will take the carry on the jet. Blockers in front for Sawyer Seidel. He's got the lost yardage and then some to the 37-yard line.
Just a jet play, too, to Seidel. You know the speed he has. You get some guys out there blocking for him. He's able to make the first guy miss, get around the corner, pick up some yards on that. Get yourself to a 3rd and manageable here. And a lot of times you get that ball to Sawyer Seidel and just let him go to work.
3rd down and 8 for Jerry Kaminsky, who is now tied the North Dakota single regular season record for touchdowns in a year with 24. Pressure coming up the middle. Fleming unable to make the grab. He was blanketed there along the boundary by Jaden Oliver. South Dakota State's forcing the 3 and out after they scored the touchdown.
Yeah, that's huge. They've already got the momentum there to all of a sudden you come out here a quick 3 and out for North Dakota. if you're South Dakota State, you've got to love the momentum on your side right now and the way your team has responded after being down 14-0.
Silvernail back on. Miles Taylor back to receive at the 20-yard line. A little shift in formation with the play clock running down to 3 for UND. And they are not going to get this punt away.
Delay of game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
Just to go back to the B.J. Fleming opportunity a moment ago, the crowd wanted a flag, but it was Fleming who was doing the holding that time, perhaps trying to draw it on the sideline. Good job by the officiating crew to not be fooled. First penalty of the day against North Dakota. Silvernail, who's been great this season, top 5 in the Valley in average yards per punt this year. Back on his own 17. UND has had 2 punts blocked this season. South Dakota State cannot get home this time. Silvernail's punt will bounce on the 30. Taylor grabbing it out of bounds around the 25-yard line, and that's where this Jackrabbit offense will take over. Now trailing by just 7. 5 minutes left in this first half. For South Dakota State, this is the resume. The Jacks have made the FCS playoffs 13 seasons in a row. That's the second longest active streak in the nation. I'm not going to bring up who's got the longest. They had such a phenomenal start to the year, beating Montana State in overtime on the road in Bozeman, taking care of business against a much ballyhooed Sac State team in non-conference as well, getting the job done against Youngstown on the road. But in some sense, given all the personnel they lost, again, 15 players from that Valley title team a year ago went with Jimmy Rogers to Washington State. They lost, of course, their 4-year starting quarterback to Iowa in Mark Gronowski. Griffin Wilde, their leading receiver, is one of the best receivers in the Big Ten this year for Northwestern. And yet they're still in position, if they can find a way to get the job done on the road today, to be going back to the postseason. Malachi McNeil and company, though, a good start for this North Dakota defense on this possession, stopping Blair for a loss of 3 on first down.
Just getting him to go to the outside, too, not letting him run right up the middle, get the ball bouncing to the outside. That's where they have to be able to have success. And then plays like this, too, you got to be able to stop that run game right at you. Much better job on first and second down there for North Dakota.
On that previous drive, it had been a lot of 3rd and 2, 3rd and 1. Different story here as Corey Blair gains a couple, but it'll be 3rd and 9 now for the Jackrabbits.
Well, you're exactly right. You know, when you're in those 3rd and shorts, and even the 4th and short too, I mean, that's what you want. And now all of a sudden you're backed up. This is much better for North Dakota. Get them into these 3rd and 9s, put the ball in the quarterback's hands, be able to bring a little bit of pressure on these kind of plays. And you can't give them 3rd and short. South Dakota State's way too good for that.
Jack Henry, 3 of 7 today through the air. They've done the job on the grounds. Fighting Hawks bring pressure. Henry intercepted. Zach Lewis, the senior safety, with the pick inside the 40. Fighting Hawks in business once again.
Well, Jai Martin comes off the edge here, too. You're going to see 4 coming from the bottom of your screen. And that ball is just thrown way too far in front. And Zach Lewis is right there, ready to pick this thing off. Big turnover for the Fighting Hawks. In great field position here. Nice job for North Dakota's Jack Henry. I think just threw that a little bit too quick. I think he felt the pressure coming, got rid of it too fast. An interception for North Dakota.
3rd pick of the season for the senior from Chandler, Arizona. It is the 13th interception of the year for this North Dakota defense. That's 2nd best in the Valley, top 10 in the nation. First turnover forced by either side today. The 42-yard line is where Jerry Kaminsky and this offense will take over, and it's the true freshman, Charles Langama, bouncing outside. Langama just his 4th game played, so he'll keep that redshirt season intact. Good stop along the edge by South Dakota State's Noah St. Juste.
Really nice job by North Dakota's coaching staff, too, to play that the right way and make sure that he's able to retain that, get your 4th game once you get into postseason. If North Dakota gets that to that area, again, those games don't count. So great job to the coaching staff to keep that intact and play that the right way.
2nd and 7. Here's the Montanak. Fleming with the block along the edge. St. Juste was there to shove him out of bounds. Gain of 4. It'll be 3rd down and 3.
Getting the ball to DeMontanak on this kind of play. You're trying to get one guy beat, trying to get the block there by B.J. Fleming, pick up some yards there, get yourself into a 3rd and short. Again, just as good as a running play when you're able to get those things to the outside and pick up that many yards.
Feels like 4-down territory for North Dakota with 2:34 and counting left in this first half. 3rd and 3. Seidel stopped in the backfield. Bryce Johnson, the backup will linebacker, off the edge, making the tackle. A loss of almost 1.5 yards this time. State's done a great job on Seidel this afternoon so far.
Bryce Johnson played that just absolutely perfect. Came down the line, didn't get caught upfield. Came right down on Seidel, took his legs out so that he wasn't able to make a miss. Great defensive play.
North Dakota will allow this to run to the 2-minute timeouts. Isaac Frichte and company have a decision to make. 4th and 5 from the 37. Up by 7 when we come back.
We'd like you to get to know
2 minutes of action away from halftime. Coming up at the break, we will feature the seniors on this week's episode of 701. Highlights and stats and a check around the Missouri Valley Football Conference scoreboard coming up at the interval. North Dakota leading 14-7 has kept the offense on the fields. It is 4th down and a long 5. Jerry Kaminsky and company need the 32. And they will try and throw for it. Kaminsky across the middle. Fleming caught. Awfully close to the first down. It looks like he's got enough to the 32-yard line. Oh, we will see now. One official is saying it is Jackrabbit football.
But you're right, Alex. The guy up top and made it seem like it was picked up.
The ruling on the field is the runner was short of the line to gain. Turnover on downs.
The far side official, to your point, Ryan, was walking in right along the first down marker. The official on the near side, though, spotted it at the 32. It's a really good open field tackle by Dotterman to prevent Fleming from getting any steam upfield. He needed the 32. They're going to look at this. As always, it is where the football is when the knee goes down. And the ruling on the field was that Fleming only got to the 33 when he needed the 32.
Well, we'll have to look at it again, Alex, but it almost looked like the ball went down before his knees did as his momentum continues forward here.
From that angle, and again, this is not right on the 32-yard line, of course. He is not down. Fleming is stretching. It's just so tough to tell. Is there definitive evidence in your mind to overturn this? Right, that's the question.
That's going to be the question, is exactly right. And we'll have to see if there, I mean, this is obviously a big call here for both these teams. But boy, that's as close as you can get.
It's either going to be North Dakota football 1st and 10 from just outside the 30, or the Jackrabbits will take over with 1:55 to go in all 3 timeouts. So his knee, as you were right, Brian, the ball goes down first before his knee does, that's for sure. This, by the way, is the radio booth. This is not the replay booth. Tyler Merriam getting a lot of airtime today. Up in the Jackrabbit radio room. Dan Jackson, I believe, is ready for anything, I would imagine, at this point. These reviews can go either way. And they are taking their time to look this over. Massive call in this football game in a one-score contest, and so much riding on it. Both of these teams need to win to guarantee their spot in the FCS postseason. This is perhaps our best look from up top. As you can see the hash marks a little bit better.
After review, the runner made the line to gain, therefore it is a first down. Game clock operator, please set the game clock to 1:57, and there will not be a 10-second runoff due to the first down.
So much to the delight of the home crowd, the call is overturned. Fleming able to stretch out and move the chains.
And that's what it was. It was the ball being stretched before his knees came down. Him getting rolled up on the defender almost helped more than anything, to be able to pick up that first down. Good job by BJ Fleming.
Fighting Hawks now 2 for 2 on 4th down today. 1 went for a touchdown. The latest, a massive first down. Kaminsky to Montanak inside the 5-yard line. Nice pitch and catch from Kaminsky to his senior target. Fighting Hawks with 1st and goal.
Well, we saw BJ Fleming have success with this play before for a touchdown. Same type of thing here, just a slant route to the inside. Good job by Nate DeMontanak getting inside. Nice job for North Dakota. Great position here with 1:34 left in this half. Obviously, South Dakota State gets the ball coming out here, so this is a crucial drive for North Dakota.
A gain of 27 to put North Dakota into the Hugo's red zone. Here is Seidel up the middle. That was Cy Ford, the junior defensive tackle from Howard, South Dakota, in on the stop. Clock will run. North Dakota in no hurry. They do have all 3 timeouts remaining. And now South Dakota State will stop the clock with their first timeout of the half. The Jackrabbits do get the football to start the 3rd quarter. Keep that in mind. Big opportunity for UND to put on points just before the half and extend this advantage. All of these drives, all of these plays have so much significance riding on it. It's a regular season game, but we have said it often. This is a playoff game, and it feels like it today.
Absolutely. There's no doubt about it. And you can tell with these two teams as well that, you know, there's just a different energy in right now in this entire building. Everybody knows how important this game is for both these programs, and it just has that feel of a playoff game right now for both these football teams.
Second and goal for Kaminsky. Dang, by the way, North Dakota's big red zone target, 6'5", 225, the redshirt freshman at the top of your screen. He's got 4 touchdowns this year from areas just like this. Colton Brunel, the tailback. Kaminsky keeping it behind Brunel again. South Dakota State ready for it this time. They will call another timeout. Third and goal from about the 2.5 on the way for this Fighting Hawks offense.
That same quarterback load play there for North Dakota. You're going to see Kaminsky fake it to Colton Brunel, but then just follow him. He becomes the lead blocker up the middle. North Dakota scored on that play in the first quarter. And South Dakota State able to come down on this one and not let Kaminsky get in on that play.
That's a really good effort by Dawson Ripperda at the defensive end spot, diving in to make the grab. Let's step away for a moment and hear from the good people at Sanford Health.
Building a career at Sanford Health is about even more than great pay and comprehensive benefits. It's also about doing good every day. Join us to start a career with purpose. Because no matter what you do here, you'll be changing lives.
See what Isaac Frichte and this Fighting Hawks offense have dialed up on third and goal from just outside the 2. Christian Hoskins now is the wide receiver. Seidel back in. It's Hoskins in motion, the speedster. Kaminsky rolling and looking too far in front of Seidel. Good coverage by this Jackrabbits defense. That was Matt Gehring out there. Bryce Johnson in coverage as well. And this will bring on Kenton Loffman.
Well, North Dakota tried to go show the opposite direction there and then come back and sneak Seidel out. And South Dakota State was right there. They had great defense. Set up a field goal here for North Dakota.
Simon Rumfo, the quarterback, will be the holder. David Newberger, the long snapper. The redshirt freshman Loffman, a 20-yard attempt from the right hash. And this one is up, and it is through. Remember, Loffman missed the 20-yarder against North Dakota State. This time he comes through. Now 4 for 6 on field goals in relief duty of C.J. Elrich. Kenton Loffman. That's a big kick to extend the lead to 10. South Dakota State, though, with 59 seconds left in the half. They will have an opportunity with 1 timeout left to put some points on the board before they get the football to start the third quarter. Big sequence coming up for Dan Jackson as well as for Eric Schmidt. Both teams living and dying with every possession here today.
Being aggressive on everything they're doing as well, and that's why you call those timeouts too. Give yourself an opportunity here to have some time on the clock, maybe get something going here before half. These special teams that plays are always important too. If you're able to somehow get a return on this play or get a big return, that would set you up great. And on the flip side, this is a huge thing for North Dakota. Get down there on that kickoff team, bury them deep, change their mindset. Big special teams plays.
Miles Green and Jack Smith awaiting this kick from Loffman. Fair catch by Smith right at the goal line. So Jack Henry and this Jackrabbits offense will take over at the 25, 59 seconds with which to work before the halftime break. SDSU's gotten the job done on the ground today, just 18 passing yards. Henry will have to put it in the air. He's got a great arm. This North Dakota defensive staff have said the arm strength between Henry and Mason is maybe not that great of a differential, but it's the accuracy and it's the experience that they're missing with Chase not in the lineup. Again, Mason not dressed today after taking warm-ups. 5th straight game that the star senior will be out for. Eric Eidsness and SDSU going conservative on first down. A short gain up the middle.
That's what North Dakota was able to do on their last drive too, was be able to stop that running game, get them into third and longs, things like that. That's what you got to do. Good job on first down there by North Dakota. Not let them get a big pickup on first down there on the run game.
Clock continues to run. 30 seconds left as Henry goes up top. Pass intercepted. He put one up for grabs, and Jai Martin was there to take it down. Second pick in a row for this Fighting Hawks secondary. Alex Bullock, the intended target, and Henry just sailed it.
He certainly did. I mean, this is a ball that's just up for grabs. You got more green jerseys there than you do white, and that's a ball that really was just hung up there in the air way too long. Pick for North Dakota. Now remember, UND has 3 timeouts as well, too, so be interesting to see kind of the mindset here of Isaac Frichte, Eric Schmidt, how they want to play this with 27 seconds left before half with 3 timeouts.
Second pick in as many possessions for the redshirt freshman, his 6th interception of the season. Henry threw 2 picks last week in the defeat against Illinois State. We'll see if this one is a damaging one. North Dakota does have a ways to go and just 27 seconds left to add to this 10-point advantage. Kaminsky, though, with the football at the 40-yard line. 4 tight ends, or four receivers, excuse me, as Kaminsky rolls out. He will tuck and run and get near the 50-yard line. Good coverage downfield by the Jacks, but the sophomore quarterback does get 8. 20 seconds left as 7 seconds ran off the clock. All 3 timeouts for North Dakota. They need, I would say, at least 30 yards to get into field goal range for Loffman. Jackrabbits rush 3. Kaminsky across the middle. That's caught for the first down. Seidel with the grab into Jackrabbit territory. Timeout North Dakota with 15 seconds to go.
And that's the luxury of having those timeouts, is you're able to run plays like that across the middle. You can take a timeout right away. You don't got to worry about always throwing to the sidelines. Eric Schmidt burns that first timeout here. 15 seconds left. Try and get yourself into a position here to hopefully get some points on the board before half.
They will add 2 more seconds on the clock, so 17 seconds left in this half. Ball in the 48. There's Isaac Frichte. I misspoke earlier, by the way. Brian Bergstrom, the defensive coordinator, was Isaac Frichte's head coach at Winona State. Eric Eidnes had been the head coach at Southwest Minnesota State. It's very easy to get your NSIC programs mixed up as we're going through all this. All of these coaches and coordinators, such unique paths to get where they are. Here's 1st and 10 now from midfield. Kaminsky stepping up. He's got Dang across the middle. Dang will run out after a short gain. Well defended there by South Dakota State. St. Just able to run the redshirt freshman receiver from Tokyo, North Dakota, out of bounds.
Yeah, South Dakota State just making sure there's nothing over the top, making sure there's no deep shots. Giving up kind of those in-front routes, rallying to them.
12 seconds left. Kaminsky with time. Now the pocket breaks down. He'll dump it off. A little behind Seidel. And now 3rd and 6 with 7 seconds to go. Do you have time for 2 more plays, or do you have to take a shot to the end zone now from this spot on the field?
Yeah, that's good. That's going to be a good question here. I think they'll try and throw a short one here quick, and then maybe just take a chance there at the end, but we'll see how they play this one.
Kaminsky 10 of 14 in this first half, 183 yards through the air. Dang, a good deep ball target at 6'4". Kaminsky downfield, and he'll short arm this one a bit in front of the senior Caden Dennis. 3 seconds left in the half. 4th down for the Fighting Hawks. It was always going to be a big ask to get into position to have a chance after that interception with just 20 seconds left. Kaminsky certainly has the arm strength to get one into the end zone from here. Timeout now on the fields, as SDSU wants to talk over their defensive strategy.
If you're South Dakota State, the last thing you want to do is not be lined up right and get a a dang on somebody over there and then not have the right alignment there. So they want to make sure they've got the right defense called, make sure everybody's in the right positions here. North Dakota's going to probably just throw this thing up and see if their guy can come down with it.
A couple of Jackrabbit safeties heading back to the goal line just to protect the end zone in this situation. Kobe Bretz and Jaden Oliver back there awaiting something deep. They'll actually put 3 safeties back on the end zone. Jalen Lee will be back there as well. Kaminsky stepping up, in trouble, and loses the football. Kaminsky did recover it. 0-0's on the scoreboard, though, and that will be the end of the first half. North Dakota, with a couple of touchdowns and a field goal in the opening 30 minutes, lead by 10 over South Dakota State in this must-win contest on the final day of the FCS regular season. So far, so good for the home team. The visitors with work to do in the second half. The Jackrabbits will have the football to start the third quarter here at the Alaris Center. Stick around, halftime on the way next here on Midco Sports.
Adventure starts right here.
This game on Midco Sports is presented by Farmers Union Insurance. Simply different.
We've reached halftime here in Grand Forks. It is number 13 North Dakota with a 17-7 lead over number 22 South Dakota State here on the final day of the FCS regular season. Well, it is senior day, a day that has a tendency to make even the most stoic feel sentimental, and that was the case again this week as the Fighting Hawks seniors looked back on their time and reminisced on this, the latest edition of the 701.
For me, I'll always remember them. It was, our first ride that we had together, kind of our first go-around as a staff, and to do it with them, I think it's been great. They mean everything to us.
With plenty of time, intercepted! Malachi McNeil!
I've had a great 5 years here, It's been a great time to kind of see how much it means to everybody in the state of North Dakota. It makes me play with a lot of pride out there, and this makes me have a lot of pride when I'm representing the University of North Dakota. I've had a great staff and great teammates to help me grow and just develop as an individual, and I couldn't be more thankful.
Time to go Rabbit on set! Ready, begin!
Moving all the way from Canada, you know, like I had to meet a lot of new people. Basically everyone was new, so I think all the connections that I've made, I just made a lot of friends, and I'm just super glad that I chose to come here. I just came in here as a young man, and I think I'm maturing a lot now and just realizing what's important in life, and I think this place has set me up for success for sure.
Nice job here by Kevin Seabar into the second level. The senior running back into the end zone.
If I were to do it all over again, I would come back here in a heartbeat. You come here as a freshman, you don't know what to do, you're kind of lost a little bit, but the people here have been great. Without a lot of people that have been here, I think I wouldn't be where I am today.
Probably the biggest thing is relationships that I've been able to build with all the guys and my coaches and stuff, and met some of my best friends here and just had a really good relationship with everybody involved. I've grown a lot just as a player and off the field too as a person, you know, and I think this community and this program just helped me grow as a person.
Simon Rumford will keep it and walk in for the touchdown.
That's what really makes a place special, I think, is the people. And we have great people here, the community, the fans. Like it's been an awesome experience. You learn a lot about yourself, and you're able to just really mature. Favorite memory, it's gotta be beating NDSU probably a couple years ago at home. That was a pretty cool win.
For the first time in the Division I era, North Dakota has beaten North Dakota State.
The fans like storming the field, and that whole game was just a cool game.
My favorite memory would probably be either when we beat NDSU or coming back on Montana, coming back down from 17 at home.
A special win for North Dakota today.
Seeing how live the Alaris Center got in both those occasions was like no other.
Probably just like in the locker room, hanging out with the guys, just kicking it, joking around, stuff like that. I'd say probably living in the dorms with all the guys. I know I have a nice apartment now, but just living in the dorms with all the guys, it was a cool experience. You know, you got to meet a bunch of people from all across the country, so I think that was a very unique experience and one that I needed for sure.
I'd say my favorite memory is probably just out here struggling, maybe like in practices and conditioning and stuff like that, just with the guys all the time in the early mornings, snowy, just kind of gritty and gross outside, and you come here and you just work. And I think those are the times that you're going to miss the most, just being around the guys and having fun with them.
I'm a North Dakota kid, so just playing for UND and wearing the jersey, it means a lot for me. So being able to help this place, it means a lot. When you get the opportunity to, it's really hard to turn down, and it's just been awesome. He's my best friend. Like, you know, we do everything together. Like, just to be able to do it together. It's cool to like be able to have family come to a lot of the games and watch us both play. And then also like a lot of people from Langdon come. So it's really cool in that way too. That's something you kind of grow up doing as a kid, and just being able to do it for as long as we have, it's been a lot of fun.
I would take a gunshot for anyone on this team. I think, you know, just being able to have a scholarship, play football, community service and stuff like that too is huge too as well. So I think being able to do a lot of that stuff is really cool. Just tried to do my best to show how much I appreciate everyone.
You get to really play for a lot when you play for UND, so I think I've always appreciated that, and I learned that very quickly when I got here, that it's something special, and it's bigger than me or anybody else on this team. Go. I was a first-generation college athlete and college graduate, so those are big accomplishments for me and my family. So I think just coming here and living out the dream of playing Division I football is something that I'll never take for granted, and something that I dreamed about as a kid.
When I was coming up here and committed here, I had a teammate that was committed here. He had took a couple visits here. He told me it's a special place, special environment. So just seeing how the Alaris Center, how loud they can get in there, it's been a great experience being here and playing in front of the best fans in the country, and can't wait to go play one more out in front of them on Saturday.
Great stuff from our crew. 7-1 going on all season long on Midcoast Sports social media channels. By the way, how was that senior class doing today? Those senior safeties, John Martin and Zach Lewis with an interception each, and senior middle linebacker Malachi McNeil leading the way with 7 tackles for the UND defense.
It could happen. That's why the PS and PS Garage Door stands for prompt service. Since 1974, we've installed and serviced doors for your residential, commercial, and agricultural needs. We've got you covered with same-day local service and 24-hour emergency service in the Grand Forks area. Call us today for a free estimate or visit us online at psgaragedoors.com. PS Garage Doors, your garage door store.
Everyone looks for the same things in auto work: dependability, honesty, affordability, and speed. Stop at Capitol Heights Auto Clinic, Mr. Loomster, and you'll find all that. They use the newest technology and training to deliver a professional service you can count on. From tires to transmissions to engine diagnostics and even no appointment needed oil changes. They're an A to Z auto shop with multiple mechanics on staff you can always trust. Capitol Heights Auto Clinic, Mr. Loomster, has been your auto repair shop since 1978, located across from the Grand Theaters.
At the Age Well Center, we believe aging is about more than time. It's about living fully with joy and purpose. You can enjoy nutritious meals to keep you feeling your best. Your mind will stay sharp from our educational classes. Life should be fun no matter the age. We offer events and activities to keep you active and having a great time. Aging is an opportunity, not a limitation. Take advantage of our services to help you thrive. Find ways to embrace each day with joy and purpose at the Age Well Center. Join us today.
With new construction costs skyrocketing, why not invest in the home you already love? House of Color in Bismarck has everything you need to update your flooring. Whether it's tile, hardwood, carpeting, or window treatments, their talented staff helps you every step of the way. As your locally owned experts, House of Color always offers free estimates and flexible financing. Use their room visualizer and see how your new floors could look before you even start. Go online to houseofcolor8.com. Let's bring your vision to life.
The Bistro in Bismarck has been doing some of the same things every day for almost 3 decades. Every morning at open, we fire up our wood-burning grill and pizza oven with red oak. To cook the steaks, we cut by hand, along with the pizzas, burgers, house-made breads, and more. Every day we've served the region's finest food for dinner or lunch, business or personal, with family or friends. There's no place better to meet up than at the Bistro. We can't wait to see you.
This game on Midco Sports is brought to you by Perkins Restaurants, the comfort you crave.
North Dakota with a 10-point advantage over South Dakota State here at the break in this battle of teams trying to get to 8 wins and cement their spot in the FCS postseason. Alex Hannett, Ryan Gosowski here with you. Right, a unique opening 30 minutes, as they so often are here at the Alaris Center. If you're North Dakota, you feel good about a lot except that rush defense in the first half.
I think that's the one thing. You look at that one drive for South Dakota State where they continued to pick up first downs, continued to march it down, really ran the football at North Dakota. I think for North Dakota, you saw the next 2 drives, though, a lot of different run gap fits, a lot of things like that they did differently, forced 2 turnovers on South Dakota State after that. They've got to be happy with the way they responded after that drive by South Dakota State.
As you look at the highlights from the opening 30 minutes, North Dakota got off to a good start in that first quarter. Jerry Kaminsky embarking on an 8-play, 98-yard drive capped off by this carry from 14 yards out on 4th down.
Oh, and I love this play. I love this block right here by Colton Brunell, too. Absolutely goes down and knows his job. He has to get that block to spring that touchdown. Kaminsky able to get in there for a first touchdown for North Dakota. Really got momentum on their side.
After the Fighting Hawks defense had a stop. First play on the next drive for UND. How about 89 yards for B.J. Fleming?
Yeah, just a one-on-one matchup up front. And again, B.J. Fleming had to, before that play, just been super excited about this opportunity, knowing there was no safety help over the top. Fleming does the rest, scores a touchdown for North Dakota. Great job.
Third catch, over 75 yards this season for Fleming. He's already over 100 on the day. South Dakota State, though, would respond. 17 plays, 80 yards, nearly 10 minutes off the clock. Josiah Johnson, the freshman, cashing in from 8 yards out.
Yeah, Johnson finishes it off here. Lofgren, that drive, though, had a lot of big chunk yards for South Dakota State as well. That was the answer SDSU needed, though, after going down 14-0.
So 14-7, and then the turnovers. You mentioned it. Big pick here by Zach Lewis to set up Kenton Lofman from 30 yards out.
Good to get some points there, too, for North Dakota. They needed that. Can get some more points on the board going into half and then forcing another turnover here. And South Dakota State just trying to throw that ball up there and get some yardage downfield. And Jai Martin right there to pick that thing off.
Third pick of the season for Martin, 3 for Zach Lewis as well. 14 interceptions as a team now for North Dakota. As you see the halftime stats, UND 0 for 6 on 3rd down, but they've been efficient on 4th when it's gotten there. South Dakota State very much relying on their run game to move the football. Feels like a big drive for them to open up the 3rd quarter on the way.
It certainly does. I think they have to show the ability to throw the football as well, though. They have to be able to get some yards going and get a little confidence for their quarterback. They have to be able to throw the football. 18 yards passing right now is not going to cut it against North Dakota. They have to be able to at least show that side of their game and have a resemblance of success doing that.
Jack Henry, 3 of 9, 2 interceptions, just those 18 yards. He is capable of putting it in the air. He would likely have to do so after the break. Halftime rolls on here from the Alerus Center in Grand Forks. North Dakota, South Dakota State, one of a number of Valley games going on around the country, some with big consequences in terms of the postseason. One we've got our eye on at the top of your screen, Southern Illinois trying to get to 7 wins, putting it on Illinois State in Normal this afternoon.
Yeah, that's really interesting to see. Again, Illinois State, a team that has had a lot of success, has done a nice job, and at home, like you said, Alex, very not normal for Illinois State to have that kind of performance at home, and really in a very important game for their season. That's credit to the Salukis, though, for coming out and playing the way that they are.
The Redbirds could have been in line for a bye. Now Southern might have a crack to make the postseason at 7-5 in the Valley. We will see. Murray State creeping closer to perhaps their first win of the season. That'd be a huge one for Jody Wright and company. Youngstown, 4 more touchdowns for Bo Brungard. What else is new as they're up big over Northern Iowa, and then North Dakota State the early advantage in non-conference play over St. Thomas. We're joined now on the sidelines by UND head coach Eric Schmitz.
Coach, you knew it was going to be a physical football game, and it definitely has lived up to that. What adjustments do you want to see in the second half to slow down that rushing attack for South Dakota State, make them continue to throw the football?
Yeah, that's the goal. I think a lot of unbalanced stuff, some new guys and some new numbers out there for them, just as far as where they're playing without extra offensive linemen. So our guys now hopefully have a good grasp of what we're trying to do against it, and looking forward to stopping the run and doing a better job here in the second half.
Offensively, Coach, what did you like from your group on that side of the football in the first 30?
I thought Jerry did a great job of just taking what the defense gave us. You know, you get them into some heavy sets, and you get one-on-one on the edge, and then you got to go win. And obviously, huge play by BJ, really good by Nate too as well. And we got to continue to take advantage of that. If teams are going to put enough resources in the box, man, we got to make them pay. And I thought Jerry's put the ball right on the money on both of those plays.
Thanks for the time, Coach. Good luck in the second half.
Yep, thanks, guys.
Eric Schmidt and company up by 10. 30 minutes of football to go. It'll be the Fighting Hawks defense on the field first when we come back. Third quarter action from the Alaris on the way.
We don't just sell boats, we make buying.
From the first-year head coach, Mandan's own Eric Schmitz, up by 10, midway through this football game. Trying to find a way to get to 8 wins. It'd be the first time since the Big Sky title season of 2016 that North Dakota passed the 7-win threshold. Dan Jackson and company fired up coming out of the locker room. Their offense taking the field first, a chance to score points and get a little closer in this football game, down 2 scores. They had that one tremendous drive that they did yeoman's work on the ground against this outstanding North Dakota rush defense. Other than that, though, the Fighting Hawks D was a step ahead of Jack Henry in this SDSU offense. Be curious to see what adjustments Eric Eidnes and company make coming out of the break. Lofman's opening kickoff to begin the second half. Fielded by Jack Smith at the goal line. And the redshirt freshman is around the edge, and he's into midfield. Smith, who was a multi-time All-State player at Sioux Falls Lincoln High School, with a nice return to set the Jackrabbits up with great field position.
Well, on these special teams plays, we've talked about this too, how this can be a big momentum swing for your team. Great return for South Dakota State coming out of half. That's the momentum you want. Put yourself offensively in a really good spot here on the field to be able to open that playbook up, to not be in the back of your end zone. A good return there for South Dakota State. Start the second half off the right way.
See the numbers for Jack Henry, the redshirt freshman. North Dakota just getting 3 points from those 2 turnovers. Both coming late in that second quarter. They will start on the ground. It was a great first half for Julius Loffridge. 16 carries, 91 yards for the senior. He's able to pick up 2 on his first handoff of the second half. Loffridge at times this season has had big games. He's also been cast as a frustrated figure. More often than not, it feels down the stretch. Different scheme than he saw at Fordham. Just trying to be a little more north-south. I think that's been the issue with him over the last couple of games when he hasn't been quite as effective.
And I think that's the natural thing sometimes, is you want to get that thing kicked to the outside because you see an opening when the play is designed to go up the middle, and that's what South Dakota State is known for. A much better job these last 3 drives here by North Dakota's defense and their run fits, knowing where to fit up, knowing where to be. And 3rd and 5 is a much better spot for North Dakota than the one big drive SDSU had where it was 3rd and short every play. Nice job by that defense for North Dakota.
These 2 teams were combined 1 for 12 on 3rd down in the first half. I think that 1 for 13 now as Loffridge gets 2 to the 48. Both were very good on fourth down, though. The Jackrabbits a perfect 2 for 2. They've converted their last 5 fourth downs, by the way, going back to last week's game against Illinois State after having a long streak of struggling on fourth. And they're going to send up the punting unit here after this stop by the Fighting Hawks D.
A good start for North Dakota's defense. South Dakota State gets the big return. Defense answers with a 3-and-out. Nice job by North Dakota coming out, understanding the game plan, where to be, and getting a 3-and-out here to start this second half off.
That was Kaiwan Vengrowski, another grad student on this North Dakota defense, in on the stop. Max Palamon. He's had one perfect punt today to pin North Dakota down at the 2. This one will be fielded by Lewis at the 11. As you said, Ryan, that's a big stop for this North Dakota defense.
Absolutely, and that's what they need to do, is continue to stop the running game, force South Dakota State to throw the football. That's the answer you want coming right out of half here. Both teams make their adjustments in the locker room. If you can come out like that, that's a good sign for your football team.
Strong first half for Jerry Kaminsky. Just the 5 incompletions. Now 89 yards of that 183 came on the one pass play to B.J. Fleming. It's the joint longest pass in North Dakota history. The other came back in 1985, 40 years ago, against this South Dakota State side. North Dakota on the ground to open up their first offensive possession of the half. It's Seidel. Sawyer Seidel bottled up a bit in that first half. 7 carries, 20 yards for the sophomore. He had 96 on the ground last week in the road win against Murray State. 3 100-yard games. Actually, I'm sorry, 4 100-yard games this season. 5 for his career entering today. Seidel again. Makes the first man miss and stumbles forward.
Same thing for South Dakota State that North Dakota did. There's just not much room to run up there. You can see linebackers filling up. Gaps are making sure every gap is a Simon Sharp for. They're doing a really nice job of that. It's not easy to do in this kind of running game too, but the Jackrabbits are filling up nicely, getting off blocks.
3rd down and 4 for Kaminsky. The 22-yard line. The line to gain. They go to the air. That's nearly. No, it is intercepted. A diving grab by Noah St. Just. Kaminsky tried to find Hoskins on the slant. And the sophomore from Clearwater, Florida comes up with the pick.
And you just don't see this out of Kaminsky very often. He looked this one down. The defender was right there to jump that route on Hoskins. Kaminsky just, his eyes were looking exactly where he was going with that football right away. Costly turnover for North Dakota in that situation. We just haven't seen Kaminsky do that much this year, where he forces a ball in there. And that's a kind of play where you're okay with a punt if nothing's there, but last thing you want to do is turn that football over in that situation.
9 interceptions on the season for Kaminsky. As they will take a look at this, but I didn't see anything on those replays to suggest that ball was juggled or popped out. Kaminsky, by the way, 7 of those 9 picks now have come in the last 4 games.
Yeah, there was a stretch there where it was, 1 interception for the longest time. And, as the season goes on and as teams start to be able to break down film on you and study you, you maybe pick up on some things. But if you want to be successful in the postseason or as the season goes on, you got to make sure that you keep those turnovers to a minimum.
South Dakota State has been good at taking away the football this season. They were a +7 coming into today in the turnover margin. That's their 21st takeaway on the year. That has dried up a bit during this losing streak. They're a -5 in the turnover battle in these past 4 games. All 4 defeats for Dan Jackson and company. They were a -2 up until that moment today. And it would sure appear like the Sam linebacker, St. Just, has come up with the interception to put South Dakota State right outside the red zone.
Yeah, I would agree. I don't see that ball moving around much in there. I think that's going to be an interception.
After review, the ruling of an interception is upheld. First down, South Dakota State.
So St. Just comes up with the pick. South Dakota State now with a golden opportunity, down by 10, but with the football on the 21-yard line to creep a little closer. Jack Henry and this offense have stuttered at times today. One great drive. They've drawn blanks more often than not, but now here they are, knocking on the door. It's Loffridge. Great rush off the edge. It's Jai Martin again. He has been so good getting into the backfield on plays like that.
He really has. And look at his angle, too. He doesn't go upfield for quarterback. He knows his job. He knows his responsibility is to come a million miles an hour down the line and get that ball carrier before he can hit the hole. And he's done just a terrific job of that. That's not easy to do. A lot of times you're a safety. You want to go get that sack. He knows where he needs to be, and that's right down the line to get that ball carrier before he gets going.
Martin, one of 3 seniors in this Fighting Hawks secondary today, along with the true freshman Grant Noland. 2nd and 9. Henry to throw. And now he will tuck and run. And he will be ushered out close to the 15-yard line. He was looking for Grayton Gannon, the tight end, or Graham Goring was running the flag route.
But this is what you need to do. Nothing's there. Use your athletic ability. Get to the outside. Get what you can on it. Don't force the football. Good decision there by Henry. I like that aspect of his game, being able to tuck that thing out. Don't force another turnover in there.
Henry's certainly a threat with his legs. He was their leading rusher in that defeat to Illinois State a week ago. 73 yards on the ground. He lost 32 because he was sacked 5 times. He's faced now with 3rd and 5. This is Johnson bouncing outside. He's got the first down. Bennett Walker, the senior corner, with a touchdown saving tackle. Big 3rd down conversion for South Dakota State.
Nice read by Johnson there. Bounce this thing to the outside. And he sees the opening, and he's got blockers out there.
Jacks, hurry up. It's Johnson again. Tripped up this time by McNeil. He will fall forward for a gain of 2 to the 5-yard line. Malachi McNeil, the senior from Waukegan, Illinois. 3-year starter, multi-time captain. 8 tackles now today for the senior Will linebacker. 2nd and goal from the 5. Johnson stays in alongside Henry in shotgun. It'll be Johnson hit in the backfield again by Martin. Good job by the freshman, though. 6 foot 220 goes Josiah Johnson from the Milwaukee Academy of Science. Gain of 1 to keep that momentum going, but it will be 3rd and goal.
Yeah, and his strength is what helps him get a couple more yards there, because same thing, Jai Martin was right there, and you could see he's upset with himself on that because he had the tackle, but just the strength of Johnson to be able to keep that thing going, pick up a couple yards there.
Third down and goal from the 4. South Dakota State down by 10, trying to take advantage of the Noah St. Juste interception, and Eric Schmidt wants a timeout. We will take one as well. Jack Henry and the Jacks faced with a 3rd and goal when we come back.
The what? Glass panes and
Game on Midco Sports is presented by Sanford Health, the proud healthcare partner of North Dakota Athletics.
8:53 to go in the third quarter. South Dakota State's forcing a turnover on UND's first drive of this second half. Staring down a third down and goal from the 4. Eric Schmidt's defense trying to stand on the goal line and maintain this 10-point advantage. 2 tight ends set for Henry. It's Josiah Johnson, the tailback. That's Bullock in motion. Henry will keep it himself. Stopped right at the line of scrimmage. Good second effort by the redshirt freshman quarterback to get an extra yard. But it will be 4th down on the way for SDSU. Great penetration off the edge for the Fighting Hawks.
Yeah, it certainly was. Nice job. Zach Lewis coming off the edge there. Again, 4th down here for South Dakota State. Oh, yeah, I thought for sure they were going to kick this thing, but...
Well, Jack Henry is going to the sideline. For Eli Stater, it would be a obviously very makeable field goal, but this is going to be the power group coming on. Coleman Coots in a wildcat formation. The tight end will take it. Coots barreling forward. And he is stopped shy of the line to gain. Fighting Hawks with the stop.
A couple flags coming out here at the end of this play too, Alex. What a stop for North Dakota. You bring in the big package there, and UND's up for the challenge there and gets the stop.
Payne Parks, the junior linebacker from Grand Forks, among others, there to meet the 6'3", 240-pound senior tight ends. Listen to this crowd. They know how big a play that was in this football game.
Oh, and the extracurriculars after. This is going to be interesting to see as well, too, what this call is. I believe it's on South Dakota State, but what... This is a long meeting here on this one.
From a field position standpoint, this is massive.
Absolutely.
It would be UND football from around the 1-yard line. Without this penalty, Jan Jackson, though, concerned that it might be another call against his group. We'll see.
The ruling on the field that the runner was short of the line to gain, so it'll be 1st down, North Dakota. After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, South Dakota State, number 69, for contacting an official. Number 69 is ejected from the contest.
That is Quentin Christensen, the preseason All-American left tackle. Middle of your screen right there.
Oh, and that is short, too. That's a great job by North Dakota's defense. And I knew it was going to be something here at the end because all the officials kind of got together, and then it was contact with the official is what the call is here, which caused the ejection.
So there was Christensen there. Top of your screen.
Boy, what a stop for North Dakota. That's absolutely huge.
Did you see much to merit an ejection on that? I didn't see much contact that time with Christensen, as he looked like he was just pointing. Yeah. That's a tough break for that young man.
I'd agree with you, Alex. I didn't see much there to warrant some. I just knew when the meeting was that long that there had to have been something other than a few words said that the officials felt like an ejection was in store for that.
That's a massive play in this football game on a number of different levels. South Dakota State already thin on the offensive line. Their right tackle, Kenyon Bigbo, out today. Their normal starting right guard and captain Sam Hagan unavailable as well. And now Quentin Christensen, 15 games started last year at left tackle, one of the stalwarts on the left side, done for the day after contacting an official. So the 15 yards tacked on top of it mean UND start on the 16 instead of the 1 as Kaminsky lowers the shoulder. The It's stopped by Ullman in the open field, but not before the sophomore Q gets across the 20 to the 21-yard line. Huge stop for the Fighting Hawks defense. They maintain this 10-point advantage midway through the third quarter. Seidel on the replay. Net right at the line of scrimmage.
Boy, how about the job South Dakota State has done on that running game for North Dakota today? There's just nothing there. I mean, we're used to Seidel being able to break off these chunk runs to be able to get big yards, and boy, South Dakota State has done a terrific job of just shutting that part down. And I know North Dakota's going to stick with it. They want to continue to be able to run the football, but you got to tip your cap to South Dakota State's defense right now, being able to be up to the challenge in that rushing attack.
3rd down and 4. Kaminsky with pressure. That's St. Just. He and Fleming not on the same page. Cullen McShane off the edge, along with Noah St. Just, who had the interception on North Dakota's last possession, putting the heat on Jerry Kaminsky. A little wince from number 11 as he goes to the sideline.
Kaminsky gets hit on this one. There's pressure right away. As soon as he snaps that ball, there's 2 Jackrabbits right in his face. You can see the pain from that hit. Good answer for South Dakota State.
UND has just allowed 11 sacks all season, 12 now after the one at the very end of the half today. One of the best in the country at protecting the quarterback. Big 3 and out though, forced by this Jackrabbit defense. Silvernose punt muffed at the 20-yard line. A massive scrum in midfield. North Dakota believes they have the football. That's Jet Sutton pointing in his direction. And it is Fighting Hawk ball.
That Caden Dennis?
Caden Dennis coming out with the ball in hands. 3rd turnover forced today by the Fighting Hawks.
Well, they talk about it all the time. Dan Jackson talked about it in his press conference too. It's the lights. It's the things are different about the O'Leary Center. Same thing here too. You get that ball lost up in the ceiling. A big turnover there for South Dakota State. North Dakota, great position here. If you're UND, you got to capitalize now. I mean, this is a situation where you got to put points on the board. Get something going here offensively.
That was Miles Taylor, the starting cornerback, unable to hang on to the football. Turnover is such an issue in special teams last week for South Dakota State. That's continued over to today. UND back into Jackrabbit territory now, up by 10, looking to build on the advantage. Seifel in on the tackle on Kaminsky.
Now we continue to see this play too. It's just that same quarterback power play with the lead blocker up the middle. South Dakota State has done a much better job stopping that play as this game has gone on.
You mentioned the Jacks' ability to stop the North Dakota run game. They are 3rd in the Valley in rush defense, just outside the top 20 in the nation. Opponents rushing just over 122 a night against this Jackrabbit D. Seidel up the middle, tripped up and eventually brought down after a short gain of 2. Tempers beginning to flare a bit in this do-or-die contest. Cullen McShane, South Dakota State's leading tackler this season, in on the stop.
I think Seidel keeps going here too.
Oh.
And right at the end, you see the punch coming in on the football there, trying to knock that thing out.
That was Bryce Johnson, actually, who had Seidel wrapped around the leg. McShane came in the end to try and force the fumble. 3rd down and 6 now. Fighting Hawks 0 for 8 on 3rd down today. Kaminsky, there's your first conversion. Corey Ty inside the 20. First grab of the afternoon for the sophomore from Illinois. And it's a big one to move the sticks and get UND back into the Hugo's red zone.
Not only to catch this thing, but to put the brakes on here, turn the other direction as the defenders go the way of your momentum. Great job by Corey Ty on that play to know where the defenders were. Big pickup for North Dakota. Nice play there by Corey Ty.
First completion of the second half for Kaminsky. A 19-yard gain to Ty. Now it's Brunel. Joe Ullman, the junior Mike linebacker, there for the stop. South Dakota State still without Chase Van Tol, who would be starting at one of the linebacker positions in the Sam spot along with Ullman and McShane. Eric Schmidt has talked about how this Jackrabbit front seven is still one of the best in the Valley, one of the best in the country. They're not as deep as they have been. They don't quite have the returning All-American, All-Valley type players. But there's a lot of talent there. Is now a pre-snap penalty. Logan Green jumping across the line will gift North Dakota 5 yards.
Offside. Defense, number 51. 5-yard penalty. Second out.
South Dakota State shifted there, and then North Dakota went hard count on them and worked perfectly for the offsides there, get 5 yards there.
Just the 4th penalty on the day for SDSU, but that is equated to 50 yards for North Dakota's favor. Now 2nd and 4. Kaminsky tipped. He was looking for DeMontenac on the slants. His senior target did have a step back there over Aiden Dotterman. Good work by this Jackrabbit front, though.
Yeah, right there you see the tip. And DeMontenac's got inside leverage there, too. That'd be kind of what you were looking for there on that slant route. But that ball gets tipped up. Nice job by the defender. Get your hand up. Tip that thing.
That was Ullman breaking up the pass. Now 3rd down. UND needs the 8-yard line to move the chains. Kaminsky looking end zone. Fleming is there. Could not haul it in. It would have been an acrobatic catch, and BJ Fleming is hurt. Hopefully just a cramp here, judging by the look on BJ's face. He's had a big day, his 3rd 100-yard receiving day of the season, BJ Fleming. 4 grabs, 123, and that long 89-yard touchdown.
Well, just a little bit too high here for Fleming, just out of his reach. And I don't mind that football, though. Either your guy's going to get it or it's going to go out of bounds. Set up a field goal here for North Dakota. Chance to get points on the board here.
We can keep an eye on Fleming, who's trying to walk it off along the sidelines. Kenton Loftman on. He's 1 for 1 today. This will be a 39-yard attempt. And this is pure right down the middle. That's a big kick for the redshirt freshman. North Dakota getting points on the board after the muffed punts. 20-7, our new score.
Your first car.
North Dakota's resume looks like this: 7-4 on the season, 5-2 in the Valley. Their strength of schedule among the best in the country. Their 4 losses, 3 to ranked FCS teams, 1 to FBS Kansas State, all by a combined 14 points. It's that CV that have people thinking that even if today is a loss, they're still getting into the postseason. Eric Schmidt, though, has talked about the importance of this game, beating a good team, securing your spot, taking care of your own business to make sure it doesn't come down to what the committee thinks.
Absolutely, and you certainly don't want to go into the playoffs limping in either. You know, that would be losing 3 out of 4. You want to get on some momentum here, win 2 in a row, those kind of things. That's what you want to prove to the committee. Your team's on the right track. And I think that's what Coach Schmidt's trying to do here too. This game is obviously important for both these football teams, but again, all you can do is go out and perform and compete. Let the other stuff.
Free kick out of bounds, kicking team. The ball will be placed at the 35-yard line. First down.
So Lockman, just as Ryan Harrington did earlier today, sending one out of bounds. Jackrabbit football at the 35 when we come back.
Orthopedic pain is limiting. It's unpredictable. And when it disrupts the way you move, it disrupts the way you live. Life is better when you feel empowered to move the way you want, when you want. And that's where our experts come in. We're your guides to orthopedic and sports medicine treatment options that can manage your pain, rehab your injuries, and restore your confidence. Take back the freedom to move. Explore your orthopedic options at Sanford Health.
Every decision on the farm matters. That's why ProSeed created the Right Choice program. It's about more than seed. It's about making sure you're getting the right advice, the right seed, and the right results. When you add it all up, there's only one answer: the right choice. Buy your favorite high-yielding ProSeed varieties and earn great rewards. Find a dealer near you. Need seed? Think ProSeed. Online at proseed.net.
Looks like winter's happening. Again. Get your winter tires now from Northwest Tire, and you may even enjoy winter driving. Get a grip so you don't slip. Buy your winter tires at
Northwest Tire, keeps you rolling down the road.
College basketball on the way tomorrow at 1 o'clock from Vermillion. Eric Peterson's South Dakota Coyotes taking on South Carolina State. Coyotes 3-3 in the early portion of this season, coming off a loss at SEC Missouri. They picked up a nice win against Western Michigan last week at home. USD versus South Carolina State tomorrow at 1, live on Midco Sports and Midco Sports Plus. 20-7 now our score. Kenton Loffman drilling a 29-yard field goal, his second made field goal today to give North Dakota this advantage. Jack Henry trying to get something going on the ground on the quarterback keeper around the edge. The second half adjustments, though, for North Dakota paying dividends in this third quarter against the Jackrabbit run game.
That certainly is. Caden Vig here, too, gets just enough of an armful here to slow him down. And you see 13 coming across, getting him in there, getting in on the tackle on Henry. Can keep them going east and west. That's what you want to do. Force that ball to the outside. A 1-yard pickup there for the Jackrabbits.
Henry to throw. Pocket collapses. Jack Henry brought down. Ball came loose at the end of that play. Logan Eckhart, along with Lance Rucker, were dragging down the redshirt freshman quarterback.
They're going to call him down here, I think. Boy, Lance Rucker came in and just hammered him at the end of that play, and the ball popped out.
Long discussion here. Malachi McNeil emphatically suggesting they need to review this.
The ruling on the field that the runner was down. The previous play is under further review.
So David Hergert for the 5th time today. We'll head over to the monitor.
Right there when Lance Rucker comes over, and you're going to see his hand come around. They work this drill all the time. And watch his hands come there and rip out right at the end. Now the question is, was that knee down before that ball pops out here?
Really tough to tell. Again, the call in the field is if the runner was down. It goes back to the old saying, was there definitive evidence that we've seen to overturn this? Regardless, it'll be the first sack of the day for this Fighting Hawk defense. 34 sacks now on the season, most in the Valley this year. If you're Dan Jackson, you need this call to stand, trailing by 13 late in the third quarter. You can't turn the ball over for a fourth time today and expect to get out of Grand Forks with a victory. So the ball's certainly out, but you can't really see where Henry's knee is when the ball is popped loose by the junior defensive end from Omaha.
All right, we'll see here if we're able to see if that knee is down. It's so bang bang there too, but it almost looked like that left knee was down before it started to move.
Great job by everybody in the truck giving us these angles. Tanner Robinson, our producer. Greg Anker is our director today. Big call in this football game. Again, it feels like it's going to be South Dakota State football. Payne Parks was there to recover. Rucker and Eckhart combining for the sack. 7.5 sacks now for Rucker. That's second best in the Valley. He's had a phenomenal junior season. It does sound like the call will stand. Not a definitive look to overturn what was ruled, that Henry was down on the field. This will mean third down and long, though, for a Jackrabbit offense that has had a tough time converting today on third down. Just 2 for 9.
After review, the runner was down before he fumbled. The ruling on the field is upheld. Third down.
So it's a loss of a couple. Third down and 12 on the way. The Jacks need the 45-yard line to move the chains. Trailing by 13 on the road in a must-win game. Jack Henry and South Dakota State trying to snap this 4-game losing skid. UND rushes 3. Henry with time, taking a shot for Bullock. Ball underthrown, and the flag comes out. Grant Noland and Jai Martin were in coverage. And as Bullock came back to the football, 2 players in green ran into the former Cornhusker receiver. And it will be PI against UND.
And they got beat over the top, both of them, and then tried to chase up, and then the receiver came back. Pass interference call there against North Dakota.
Interference, defense number 4. 15 yards from the previous spot. Automatic, first down.
Well, you see, right, he's over the top there and comes back. Grant Nolan runs into him. Jai Martin runs into him.
Just the second penalty on the day against North Dakota. A big conversion for South Dakota State on 3rd and long. Jackrabbits back near midfield. Play action for Henry. He'll step up and fire. Graham Goring broken up by Noland. The freshman from Kearney, Missouri, redeeming himself a bit right after causing the PI a play before.
Oh, what a play on this by Noland. And this is a completion till the end when he gets his hand in there and knocks this football out. That's a terrific job. Getting your hand in there, getting the deflection, making sure that's an incomplete pass. Oh, that's a heck of a play. He said redeeming himself from that pass interference, the play before that. Great job, one-on-one coverage. Getting the pass break up on that.
Loffridge, who has had much less running room since the break, can only pick up 1. Zach Lewis and company there to meet him once again at the line of scrimmage.
There's just nowhere to go right now. That defense for North Dakota is just the pursuit, the aggressiveness. Great job by Zach Lewis getting in on the run game on that play. Another 3rd and long here for the Jackrabbits.
Just 25 rushing yards in this quarter for SCSU after they ran all over North Dakota in the first half. Another 3rd and long for Henry and company. Fighting Hawks showing pressure. They rush 5. Henry steps outside. He will take off, and he's got the first down. Great effort by the redshirt freshman quarterback, showing off his athleticism as the pocket breaks down.
But Jack Henry rolls out, and he sees there's nobody there for North Dakota. Takes off. Great job. Picks up the first down. And you can see all the green there. There's nowhere, there's no defenders there for North Dakota. Nothing but open turf. Tucks that thing in, gets a first down.
Gain of 10 for Henry on 3rd down and 9. Jackrabbits back into North Dakota territory. Man wide open downfield. Henry finds him. That is the tight end, Grayton Gannon, for the touchdown. A 42-yard strike. Henry to Gannon. Jackrabbits back within 1 score.
Well, it looks like a designed quarterback run, but it's not. Great trick play by South Dakota State. You get the defenders to come up for the run. You can throw it right over Zach Lewis, who kind of came up here thinking it was a quarterback run, and then there's nobody back there for North Dakota. Good play design by South Dakota State.
3rd touchdown grab of the season for the junior from Wisconsin. Eli Stater on, and the extra point is up and through. A pair of big 3rd down conversions by Jack Henry and the Jackrabbits on that drive. The 42-yard hookup. The redshirt freshman finding his junior tight end wide open down the sideline, giving South Dakota State some life here at the end of the 3rd quarter.
Perfect time for that call, too. We've talked so much about the safeties being involved in the run game, coming up, filling in, and when you do that, it leaves you're susceptible to a pass over the top, and that's exactly what South Dakota State did there. Fake that quarterback keep and just throw it over top of the defenders. Touchdown for the Jackrabbits. Perfect time to call that play.
You got to think a massive confidence boost for Henry as well. It's been a tough day at the office for the redshirt freshman. Until that throw, he had been 3 for 10. Just 60 yards through the air, but he finds Gannon down the sideline from 42 yards away. First touchdown of the day after 2 interceptions. South Dakota State right back in this, trailing by 6. Seidel allowing the kick to go over his head, so UND will take over 1st and 10 on the 25. Your Lignite Energy Council power drive, engineered by Jack Henry. A little help from a PI as well. The Jackrabbits only need 6 plays, 65 yards, and the big one to Gannon.
Yeah, and the penalty obviously helped keep that drive alive. Boy, I cannot stress enough how perfect of a timing call that was. Having seen those safeties fly up the first couple plays there, to know that that was going to be open over the top. And first kind of huge pass play against North Dakota's defense there tonight.
UND has not allowed many explosives this season. They've done a great job of keeping even the big play to 25 as Kaminsky now loses the football. Sacked from behind, scooped up by the Jacks. Logan Green with the fumble recovery inside the 10-yard line. Back-to-back momentum swinging plays in favor of the side from Brookings.
Oh, and this is your worst nightmare if you're a quarterback. It's on your blind side. You don't know what's coming. And not only was it the sack, it was a strip sack. Claiborne just right around the edge there. Gets the sack on Kaminsky, gets the strip. And South Dakota State recovers the football. Huge play for the Jackrabbits.
Kobe Claiborne, the senior who was an All-Valley selection, honorable mention last year, one of the newcomers of the year in the conference, preseason All-American out of Sioux City, Heelan. Making the big play. Kaminsky stripped, and now the Jackrabbits have it 1st and goal, once again inside the Hugo's red zone. A chance to pull in front now for the first time today. Josiah Johnson right up the middle. He's got 1 touchdown on the ground this afternoon. Final 60 seconds of this quarter. What an opportunity for South Dakota State here, gifted to them by their defense. Can Henry and company now take advantage, or will this group step up once again? Second and goal from the 6. Johnson, knifing inside, touchdown Jackrabbits! Josiah Johnson's second rushing score of the day. SCSU an extra point away from retaking, I should say taking the lead for the first time.
Boy, that offensive line got right on the D-line for North Dakota. Again, you look at the big guys up front too, just getting on guys, moving guys. Touchdown for the Jackrabbits. What a complete swing of momentum in this football game. A couple minutes ago, North Dakota in complete control of this game, and all of a sudden South Dakota State has a chance to take their first lead of the game.
Eli Stater, the extra points, up and through. South Dakota State 21, North Dakota 20. 2 touchdowns, a little over a minute apart in this football game. Incredible turn of events here at the end of the third quarter. And now it's gut check time for the home team, trailing by 1.
It certainly is. This is where you find out what your team is made of. Everything's going against you. Well, South Dakota State has all the momentum in this game. How are you going to respond? What are you going to do to get your team back in this and get the momentum back in your favor?
The true freshman from Milwaukee, Josiah Johnson, with a couple of short touchdown runs. The Jackrabbits only need 2 plays to take advantage of the strip sack. I said those touchdowns were about a minute apart. How about 30 seconds apart? Wow. 1:19 on the clock for the Gannon 42-yard touchdown. 35 seconds left in the quarter when Johnson punched it in. Life comes at you fast sometimes on the last day of the FCS regular season, but another wayward kickoff from Harrington will give UND good field position at the 35-yard line.
Free kick out of bounds, kicking team. The ball will be placed at the 35-yard line. First down, North Dakota.
A short Lignite Cole power drive, all started by Kobe Claiborne with the strip sack, recovered by Logan Green. And 2 plays later, the Jackrabbits are back in the end zone.
Yeah, it didn't take long. And good answer by South Dakota State. Obviously, you get the strip sack, and then just like that, you take the lead in this football game.
How will UND respond now? It's Seidel hurtling over the pile to pick up 3 to the 38. This North Dakota offense has stagnated a bit of late. Can they put a drive together now, trailing for the first time in this football game? Last play of the quarter. Kaminsky will give it to Seidel once again. Met in the hole. Good tackle by McShane along with a couple other Jackrabbits. It'll be 3rd down and 3 for this Fighting Hawks offense when the fourth quarter begins on the other side of this break. South Dakota State clawing momentum back on the road today with their season on the line. Jacks by 1 as we go to the 4th.
At United Way
This game on Midco Sports is presented by Farmers Union Insurance. Simply different.
What a turn of events here in Grand Forks, South Dakota State with 14 points. 44 seconds apart, those touchdowns were scored at the tail end of the third. The Jackrabbits forced 2 turnovers in that quarter. North Dakota with just 28 yards and 2 first downs on offense. And now on 3rd down and 2, North Dakota with a false start to back them up 5. Coming out of the quarter break, something you just cannot have. Nate DeMontenac, the senior wide receiver, moving early. So now 3rd and 7. Fighting Hawks trailing by 1. Both of these teams 7-4 on the season, trying to get to 8 wins, trying to secure an FCS playoff spot. Kaminsky to the air. Incomplete. Ty made the grab, but the ball hit the ground. He would have been about 5 yards shy of the first down, even if he had completed the catch. And the struggles for this Fighting Hawks offense continue at the start of this 4th quarter.
Thank you.
13 seconds added back to the clock. Jerry Kaminsky just 1 completion in this second half. Now UND's not had the football very much because of a couple of those turnovers, but they have not found the rhythm coming out of halftime. Another punt for Luke Silvernail. 4th down and 7. Miles Taylor back to receive. High spiraling kick from Silvernail sends Taylor back inside the 10-yard line. Well, he will make the fair catch. That's a big field position swing thanks to the North Dakota junior punter.
Well, that's a huge punt. I mean, South Dakota State brought pressure on that too. Had a lot of guys rushing, and that's what you needed. You needed that huge punt to back South Dakota State up here. Big special teams play. Now, if you're that defense for North Dakota, you got to make a play here. You got to make sure that you stop that running game. Don't let them have success on 1st and 2nd down. A big drive for this defense here.
Third career start today for the redshirt freshman Jack Henry. He was 3rd on the depth chart to open the season. Now taking the snaps in the biggest game for SDSU to date this year with their season on the line. This has been a good recipe, giving it to Lothridge, who's over 100 yards now on the day.
Nice job getting off the block there for North Dakota. And Payne Parks coming down, making the tackle as well. You see Malachi McNeil taking on a blocker. Good job on 1st down by that Fighting Hawks defense.
It should be said 91 of Lothridge's 100 came in the first half. UND has done a much better job in the second, slowing him down up until this point as Lothridge barrels forward across the 20 to pick up 9 on 2nd down and 8.
Well, you just see these 3 big boys coming across looking for people to block. And when you're able to get that far upfield before you find a defender you have to block, that's exactly what you want if you're South Dakota State. And nice job by those big guys up front getting on bodies.
Jack's up to 170 on the ground today. The most North Dakota had allowed up until this point was 143, both to Kansas State and to North Dakota State. Payne Parks there to slow down Lothridge right at the line of scrimmage on this 1st down carry. Julius Lothridge just a little slow getting up. He's had a lot of work today. That was his 24th carry of the afternoon.
Caden Vig continues to get off blocks too and get in there. Like you said, Payne Parks from that linebacker spot coming downhill. Got to continue to take that running game away for South Dakota State.
Second down and 9, it's Johnson with a short gain. 3rd and long upcoming for SDSU. Under 13 to play in regulation.
That's an important tackle right there, because I think if he breaks that, that's going to be a first down for South Dakota State. Man, this feels like a big third down here, Alex. It just seems like this is, for North Dakota's defense to get off the field here would be crucial.
I would concur, Ryan Kosowski. They're all big at this point now. Henry and company need the 31 to keep the drive alive. He'll take a shot downfield and overshoots Bullock this time. Good coverage by Noland. Martin, the safety, was in the area as well. Jackrabbits get one first down on that possession, but the big punt by Silvernail and the stop on defense means UND will get the football in decent shape. Here is Zach Lewis, who has broken off a couple of big returns this season. Max Pelham, the former Minnesota State punter, one of the best in the country, getting set to boom one here. North Dakota trying to set up the return. Lewis at the 30-yard line. Makes the first man miss. Zach Lewis now with space. Pelham, the punter, hanging on for dear life and brings Lewis down at the 45-yard line. Not before the senior safety is able to get the football into South Dakota State territory. Special teams coming up big once again for the Fighting Hawks. Back to the Alaris after this.
It's game day, and whether you're feeding the family or
on Midco Sports is brought to you by Perkins Restaurants, the comfort you crave.
12:05 to go in the fourth quarter. Number 22, South Dakota State with a 1-point advantage over number 13, North Dakota. The Fighting Hawks led 17-7 at the half. They extended the lead to 20-7 late in the third quarter. Back-to-back Jackrabbit touchdowns, though, after a pair of Fighting Hawk turnovers, have given SDSU this opportunity. And now on first down and 10, after a great punt return from Zach Lewis, Jerry Kaminsky is swallowed up in the backfield.
You see South Dakota State, they're not falling for that. They got multiple defenders out there right on Kaminsky as soon as he tries to take off on that quarterback keep.
Ullman once again, the Mike linebacker, in on the stop. A loss of 3. Kaminsky caught. That's the Montanak. Ripped down just shy of the line to gain. An important tackle by Ullman to prevent Nate DeMontanak from getting a little further upfield. It'll be 3rd and short.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Alex, because I think if he's able to turn this up, he's able to pick up a first down and gets him down right there. Sets up a 3rd down for North Dakota, but that's a good pickup for UND. That's what they want to see. They want to get themselves in 3rd and short here. Right, nice job on that pitch and catch there by Kaminsky and DeMontanak.
5th grab of the day for DeMontanak. Seidel. He has had no room to run this afternoon. Great effort inside. Logan Green. Nick Wells in there as well. 4th down on the way.
Well, there's just been nowhere to go in that running game up the middle. You're hoping on that play to get the 3 yards you need to pick up the 1st down, and South Dakota State just swallowed that up.
4th down and 2. This is where North Dakota has missed. Gavin Zebarth, situations like this, to have that power back to come in. South Dakota State needs a timeout now. North Dakota had substituted. SDSU was trying to switch personnel. Dan Jackson and company not taking any chances on 4th down. Their team leads by 1. Jack's looking for a stop. Fighting Hawks looking to move the chains. Congrats today to Jaden Keeler, the North Dakota senior, who won the Summit League Women's Cross Country Championship a week ago. Finished 26th today in Columbia, Missouri to earn All-American honors. Best finish at the D1 level, the first All-American at the D1 level for a North Dakota cross country athlete. She was just the 3rd North Dakotan, male or female, to make it to the NCAA D1 championships. Keeler, an outstanding performer, essentially the best in North Dakota program history. The top 40 make All-American. She finishes 26th today. Congrats to Jaden. 4th and 2 now for North Dakota's football team. They will take a shot. Kaminsky just too far in front of DeMontenac on 4th and short, and they will turn it over on downs with 10:08 to go, trailing by 1.
Yeah, just a little bit too far on this throw by Kaminsky. DeMontenac's got the right spot there. He's just got to be able to throw that ball a little bit less, and that's a touchdown for North Dakota.
Big stop for South Dakota State after that punt return got UND into Jack's territory. The Fighting Hawks cannot pick up a 1st down. The football back into Jack Henry and Josiah Johnson's hands. So plenty of time left in this football game. 10:08 remaining in the 4th. Play action for Henry. He wants to take a shot. Bullock's got a step. Alex Bullock with the catch inside the 20. A tremendous grab from the senior from Omaha. Henry put it on a plate and Bullock hauled it in.
This is a tough catch too. Look at him extend all the way out as far as he can and complete that. What an effort on that play to come up with that football. It's a really nice thrown football, but the catch to be able to extend as far out as he can on that. Big pickup for South Dakota State. Wow, way to flip the field on that. Huge play for the Jackrabbits.
49 yards, Henry to Bullock. SDSU's biggest play from scrimmage today. Jackrabbits back into the Hugo's red zone now with this 1-point advantage. Josiah Johnson grinding forward to the 10-yard line. I can't get over that catch. That was incredible by Bullock.
Yeah, it was a great ball, but he needed every ounce of his body to be able to catch that. Wow, that was a terrific play, and they needed that. All of a sudden, they're in great position. Clock's running. Great spot in the field for South Dakota State. What a huge play.
Johnson on 2nd and 5. Not as much success this time, but he does push forward to set up a 3rd down and 2 inside the 10. Just the 2nd catch of the day for Bullock, by the way. 58 yards total, 49 on this play.
Wow, just to come, I mean, extend all the way out. What a terrific catch on that.
It wasn't quite Willie Mays style. He got the one hand over the top. So tough to track that in the Alerus Center lights. Very impressive for the Nebraska transfer. He's been their best target this season, especially since Ogroski went down. Now 3rd and 2. Johnson grinding, he's got the 1st down. We should say Josiah Johnson, no relation to Angel Johnson or Amar Johnson, some of the outstanding running backs that SDSU has had in recent seasons. Amar now in the NFL, Angel with Jimmy Rogers out on the Palouse at Washington State.
Well, and South Dakota State enough to get a 1st down there. What a great job. Keep that clock running. If you're the Jackrabbits, you're loving the spot in the field you're at right now.
1st and goal from the 4. Clock running, 7.5 to play. Jackrabbits trying to extend their advantage. Johnson. He's got 2 rushing scores today. He's not going to get number 3 on this carry. Awfully close to the goal line, though.
Well, that offensive line is still getting a surge, so they're still getting the push. And all you need is a couple yards every single down to keep that clock going.
And this is a Jackrabbit offensive line that is missing not 1, not 2, but 3 starters now up front after Quentin Christensen was ejected for making contact with an official. They've got a tight end playing right tackle. Kyan Rauk has stepped in at left tackle. They've moved their center to guard, their guard to center. They're faced with 2nd and goal now from the 2. It is Johnson. The pile pushing. Touchdown, South Dakota State. Third rushing score of the afternoon for the freshman from Milwaukee. Look what it means to the fans in blue as their squad now goes up by 7.
And it's that extra effort. I mean, you can see right there, he's well short. Just continues to churn the legs, continues to push forward, and will this thing in for a touchdown. From where he got hit and where that first contact was made, well short of the touchdown, and continues to fight, get in there for a touchdown for the Jackrabbits.
Eli Stater on for the point after touchdown to make this an 8-point contest. Make or miss, it's a 1-score deficit for UND. This is a big one, though, to ensure the Fighting Hawks would need a 2-point conversion should they score a touchdown. Lewis nearly got there off the edge, but Stater was able to pound it through. The former Northwestern Red Raider, who was getting set to start a career in insurance before he got the call this summer to come and spend his grad year in Brookings, has SDSU now up by 8 with 6:30 to go. South Dakota State trailed 20-7 at the very end of the third quarter with about a minute to go. They have reeled off 21 unanswered. Our latest Lignite Energy Council power drive really sparked by that long hookup from Jack Henry to Alex Bullock, spanning 49 yards. Josiah Johnson's third rushing touchdown of the day has given the Jacks now this 8-point advantage. Dan Jackson's team creeping closer to 8 wins. It looked improbable some 10 minutes of game time ago, but now they are in a dominant position. Their defense is going to take the field and try and keep this Fighting Hawks offense at arm's length. As Seidel will take this from the goal line, trying to get a spark, and instead the Jackrabbit coverage team is there to meet him at the 15. North Dakota's offense has just 2 first downs in this half. How do they find the spark here and get a drive going to pull themselves back into this contest?
Yeah, that's what they're going to need to do. They've got to be able to get some first downs on this, get some completions, get the ball moving down the field a little bit. The running game has really struggled up the middle. Might have to, try some things to the outside a little bit, but again, I think it's going to come down to some of those receivers making a play, getting open. I get a little bit of momentum here offensively for the Fighting Hawks.
Jerry Kaminsky just 2 for 8 in this half. Make it 3 for 9. He's got the short completion. I believe that was the Montanak with another grab. You see B.J. Fleming, who got injured, going for the touchdown catch near the goal line. No helmet in sight for North Dakota's leading receiver. That's a worrying sign. He had that 89-yard touchdown catch, joint longest in North Dakota history, to put North Dakota up 14-0. Those were happier times for people in green here today. Kaminsky, no one to throw to. Seidel, good catch in the flat. Dotterman in on the coverage. He and Jalen Lee in on the stop. It's going to bring up 3rd down.
Well, Kaminsky keeps his eyes downfield, which is good, and you can see Seidel there kind of turn that route, be able to pick up some yards on that play. That's why you do that with the running back. Slip him out. Worst case scenario, you dump it off to him, let him see what he can do, and then that play able to pick up some yards there to get it to a 3rd and short.
Kaminsky running behind Seidel, able to burrow ahead and get the first to the 26.
And we've seen this play multiple times today where Kaminsky just keeps that following his running back up the middle, just enough to pick up that 1st down.
If you're a North Dakota fan, there's your drive starter. Under 5 to play, clock running. UND trailing by 8 after leading for the majority of this contest. Kaminsky to the air. Dang with the grab to the 45-yard line. Good ball from Kaminsky, and the redshirt freshman makes the grab. You see he loses his helmet, though, at the end of the play, so Dang will have to come out.
Well, and this is what North Dakota needed, too. They needed one of those chunk plays to kind of get the momentum continued on. A 1st down there. Good job by Dang getting open. Obviously having to come in with a little bit more here with Fleming being out. More reps for a guy like Dang. Obviously brings the size and speed element to your offense.
1st down and 10 from the 45 after the gain of 19. Kaminsky stepping up. He will slide just in front of the 1st down marker into Jackrabbit territory. A pickup of 7 for the redshirt sophomore.
Well, if you're a North Dakota fan, that's perfect. Go to get upfield, get 7 yards on that 1st down, slide, keep the momentum going here. Good call by Kaminsky on that.
2nd and 3. Colton Brunel will not get the 1st down. Stopped on 2nd and short. It'll be 3rd and 1. Good tackle in the hole with Bryce Johnson and company there to meet the redshirt freshman. 3:45 and counting left in this contest. This North Dakota offense, which has struggled in these situations, trailing late, needing a score to tie or to go in front. Can they find the magic touch here on senior day? Can they get to 8 wins? They need 8 points to do so. Kaminsky slinging one to the sideline, caught! To Montanak again, enough to move the chains.
Oh, big play. That's not easy to do. You're rolling out, and DeMontanak, good job keeping his feet in bounds, picking that up for the 1st down for UND. Excellent work by Kaminsky to keep this play going, keep his eyes downfield, And a nice job by Demontanek breaking that route off and knowing what he needs to get for a first down.
The senior with 6 catches now, 52 yards on the day. Kaminsky back to the air. It's Dang this time, inside the 30. Another chunk play for this Fighting Hawks offense, which had been dormant the entirety of this second half. Boy, they have come to life on this drive.
Inside route again by Dang. Slant route. Kaminsky delivers that thing right on the money. Another big play for North Dakota. Nice to get Dang back in on that play after having to sit out the helmet play. He just has so much size out there. And when you get the inside leverage like that, he's going to win a lot of those battles.
Gain of 20. 1st and 10 now for Kaminsky. To the boundary again. Another great catch by Dang coming back for the football. He had been almost exclusively a red zone threat this season. He had 1 catch for 30 yards last week in the win against Murray. We're seeing some of that potential starting to be realized on this drive for the redshirt freshman.
I think a lot of it too is understanding the offense, understanding the routes. Obviously, as the season goes on, you start to feel more comfortable with that. And boy, if Dang's a guy that they can keep getting out there, that's going to be huge.
We have hit the 2-minute timeouts here at the Alaris Center. 2nd and 3 for North Dakota inside the Hugo's red zone, trailing by 8. That's the scenario when we come back to the Alaris. Season on the line for these two clubs. Here we go. We spoke at the beginning. What is at stake today? Both of these teams know a win would guarantee a spot in the FCS postseason. Likely a home game as a top 16 seed. A loss, and your fate is in the hands of the committee. That will be determined tomorrow during the selection show. 2nd down and 3. North Dakota trailing by 8. Kaminsky on play action. He's got his man in the end zone. Demontanek stretching out for the football, but once again, just a little too much air underneath it. That's the first incompletion for Kaminsky on this drive. He had been perfect up until this point.
Yeah, and Jerry's going to want that one back, too. I mean, Demontanek's got the D-back beat. He's just got to deliver that football. That's a touchdown for North Dakota.
So now 3rd and 3. Clock stopped with 1:55 to go. Kaminsky across the middle. Touchdown, North Dakota! Nate Demontanek! A strike from the sophomore quarterback to the senior receiver who's having a career day today. And now it comes down to the 2-point conversion.
He didn't miss on that one. Well thrown football by Kaminsky. Nate Demontanek inside leverage once again. We've seen that multiple times tonight. Strike by Jerry Kaminsky right over the middle. It all comes down to this right here. Big 2-point conversion here.
7th catch of the day for Demontanek. North Dakota down by 2. 1:52 to go. Empty backfield for Kaminsky. Seidel in motion. Kaminsky rolling. Pressure coming. Seidel has it! 2-point conversion successful, and we are all tied up at 28.
Well, for as quiet as this building was a little bit ago, it's not quiet anymore. This place has erupted. Huge play here. Seidel, you see him, and Kaminsky just waits for him to get open. It's a route that takes a little bit of time to develop, but once it does, there's nobody around him. Great play call there. Again, you put the D-backs in a tough spot. If they leave somebody, hey, that receiver's open. If they stay on the receiver, Seidel's open on that play. Great answer for North Dakota. I tell you what, scoring the one thing, getting that 2-point conversion is another. Huge job by North Dakota.
Second touchdown pass of the day for Kaminsky a moment ago. He now holds the North Dakota regular season record for touchdown passes at 25. And as you said, the strike to Seidel. Such an impressive drive with all the pressure. The season potentially on the line. North Dakota marches 11 plays, 85 yards, 4.5 minutes. And now the onus falls back to the Jackrabbits. Nobody back deep here for South Dakota State, by the way, with 1:52 to go. Now it appears Isaiah Garcia-Castaneda will back up. Latham will boom this one forward. And SCSU will take over at the 25-yard line with 1:52 to go. 2 timeouts in Jack Henry and company's back pocket. 28-28. These two programs going toe-to-toe for the 91st time in their history. A playoff berth looming on the other side for whoever walks out of this building a winner. And it's the redshirt freshman quarterback, Jack Henry, in the huddle. Dan Jackson told him in practice this week, I'm not asking for perfection, I want you to have commands. Tell the guys what you want them to do and they will follow. He's got the football. 1st and 10, 1:52 to go, tie ball game. Play action for Henry. He is in trouble. That was Wiltshire, who was the hero last week, forcing the throw out of bounds. Henry was well outside the tackle box, and it looked like the pass got across the line of scrimmage, so this should not be grounding.
Wiltshire's right there. You see Jai Martin's got the job of coming down on the running back. Somebody has to have quarterback, and on that it's Johnny Wiltshire, and he's right there. Good start for North Dakota.
2nd and 10 now. How aggressive will South Dakota State be with their redshirt freshman quarterback making his 3rd career start? Henry 5 for 14 today, 109 and a touchdown. They'll keep it on the ground now. Johnson stopped in the backfield. That was Martin once again, the senior who has a pick today, coming up with a big stop right at the line of scrimmage. And now North Dakota will take its timeout with 1:39 to go, and the Jackrabbits facing 3rd and 10.
How many times have we said this tonight, too, with Jai Martin? And guys coming up, you got to be able to play the run, and he has continued to do that tonight. And if he's not there, again, that play's going to pick up yards, but he continues to be involved in the running game. Nice job by Jai Martin.
North Dakota's defense, South Dakota State's offense. Their team's seasons potentially riding on this 3rd down play. If UND can get a stop here, they'll have the football back with decent field position. 1 timeout, and a little over a minute to work with. South Dakota State, though, they've converted a couple of big 3rd downs in this second half. Just 4 of 12 today. Bullock to the top of the screen. Graham Goring, the senior, to the bottom. Johnson, the setback alongside Henry. Fighting Cock showing pressure. Henry taking the shot. Bullock downfield. Pass interference coming. Bennett Walker did not get his head turned around.
Pass interference. Defense, number 10. 15 yards from the previous spot. Automatic 1st down.
This is what you do if you're South Dakota State. You're going to take the chance here, throw it up to your guy, because 9 times out of 10 you're going to get that call, or your guy's going to come down with it, and you got one-on-one coverage, and the penalty goes against North Dakota.
Second big pass interference call in this second half against the Fighting Hawks defense. 1st and 10 now for the Jacks from the 40-yard line. A lot of movement there before the snap, and now the flags come out.
False start. Offense. Number 77. 5-yard penalty. First down.
William Papke, the left guard, moving early.
Well, the crowd's going to love that, and because of that, they're going to get even louder here on this play. And this place is electric right now, and they're playing a role in the false start, that's for sure.
First down and 15, 1:34 to go. 2 tight ends set for South Dakota State. Henry, another deep shot, looking for Goring. Oh, nearly a diving grab from Graham Goring. He was at full stretch. The senior from Iowa City had a step on the true freshman Grant Nolans.
Yeah, North Dakota brought pressure, didn't get there, which meant there was one-on-one coverage over here, and just out of the fingertips of Goring on that one. Boy, great effort, though.
Eric Eidsness not afraid to dial up the deep shot in this half. Henry's put some good balls down the field. He's faced with 2nd and 15 now. And now timeout on the field. North Dakota electing to use their final timeout of the half.
Timeout, North Dakota.
Eric Schmidt, the head coach, is the Fighting Hawks defensive coordinator. Wanting to set up this defense for success with 89 seconds left in regulation. The chess match continuing between these two staffs, these two programs, with so much at stake here today. How great are sports, Ryan Kosowski? Yeah. This has been a topsy-turvy, up-and-down game. North Dakota was in control, up 20-7 in the 3rd quarter. The Jackrabbits scored 21 unanswered, seemingly in no time. Up 28-20, UND looks dead in the water. They engineered this incredible, efficient drive to march down the field, 85 yards in 11 plays. They score, they get the 2-point conversion as well. And now Dan Jackson's Jackrabbits trying to find a way. We can't believe it either. It's been that type of a season. You never know what's going to happen next for either of these teams. Henry breaks the huddle, facing 2nd and 15. They need midfield to move the chains. Henry keeping it on the ground. Johnson able to get the penalty yards back, but it will be 3rd down and 9. Clock will run.
Well, South Dakota State, just trying to get some yards on that, trying to catch North Dakota sleeping a little bit. See if they could pick up a 1st down on that, but North Dakota right there, 3rd and 9. Big play.
Jack Henry, the former Del Rapids High School star, grew up so close to Brookings, a massive Jackrabbit fan, trying to lead his team back now. Johnson plowing ahead. He's going to be shy of the yards again, out to the 47-yard line. It's going to be 4th down and a long 3. The clock is running. South Dakota State appears to be in no hurry.
A pretty good effort on that to almost get a 1st down on that run play.
SDSU does have 2 timeouts. They do not appear to be in a rush to take one here. About a 6-7 differential between play and game clock. It looks like, given the circumstances, the Jacks are going to be happy to go to overtime here on the road. Now Dan Jackson will take the timeout with 6 seconds left. I suppose, much like we saw North Dakota do at the end of the 1st half, you've got a strong-armed quarterback. You're at midfields. Why not take one more shot, I suppose, towards the end zone? But a unique set of circumstances there as that clock wound down. Who would want to be a head coach? Ryan Kosowski.
That's why they get paid the big bucks, right?
So it's 4th down and 3. Ball on the 47-yard line. 6 seconds to go in the 4th. Tied at 28. Overtime looming on the final day of the FCS regular season. Number 13, North Dakota. Number 22, South Dakota State. SDSU has lost 4 in a row. North Dakota have dropped 2 of their last 3, both trying to get to 8 wins and move on to the postseason. There are scenarios where even a loss today, more so for North Dakota than South Dakota State, would get them into the playoffs. Neither side want to leave that up to chance. Likely one last play in regulation for SDSU's offense to end this game before extra time is needed. Jack Henry in the shotgun. Fighting Hawks rush 3, and there are the penalty flags. Not that it matters a whole lot, but it'll push the football back just a bit.
False start. Offense, number 54. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
Shane Willenbring, who's playing left guard today after playing center for much of this season, moving a little early, and that does change the calculus. As Max Pelham now, the punter, will come on. Zach Lewis, the senior safety, an exciting return man, standing back at his own 16-yard line. Pelham, who's had some boomers today, back on the 29. 6 seconds to go in the 4th. Tie football game. UND showing like they're coming after this, and they do. High kick from Pelham. And this will bounce out of bounds. Actually, you talk about a good punter. He's able to spin that back and prevent it from going out. That is the last play of regulation. We are going to overtime here in Grand Forks. 28-28 our score. Today's overtime brought to you by Buffalo Wild Wings.
Buffalo Wild Wings Pick 6 for $19.99 is the perfect meal for 2.
For 2 humans, not whatever you are.
I am a burger-loving buffalo with wings.
I've never seen a make and model like you in my entire life.
Oh, I get that a lot. You should see my mom. Pick 6 meal for 2 for $19.99.
Who could ask for anything more on the final day of the regular season? Overtime and what essentially is a must-win game for these two teams in the Valley. This is the first overtime game this year for North Dakota, their first since last year at Youngstown State. South Dakota State, of course, has had some success with extra football this season, winning in double overtime on the road in Bozeman against Montana State back in week 2. It'll be Malachi McNeil and Sam Hagan, the local guy from Fordville, North Dakota, who started his career here in Grand Forks. The captains for this coin toss, former teammates.
It is tails. You've won the toss. You're going to take defense? All right, what end of the field would you like to play in first? So your back's to the end zone?
Yeah.
Play, all right, so your back's to that end zone. And you'll be on defense, so your back's to the end zone? All right. Begin overtime in this direction. Shake hands, guys, bring out your players.
So South Dakota State winning the toss, selecting defense first. And the modified overtime rules in college football mean that the first 2 overtimes look like they normally do. You start the ball at the 25-yard line. Both teams get a crack at it. It'll be North Dakota's offense who will go first. UND 3-1 in overtime games in their Division I history. Just a reminder of how we ended up at 28 apiece. UND led 20-7 in the 3rd quarter before the Jacks scored 21 unanswered on either side of the quarter break. North Dakota with a massive response, though, on their final possession of the quarter to tie things up with the touchdown from Kaminsky to DeMontenac and the 2-point conversion to Seidel. Josiah Johnson's got 3 rushing touchdowns today. Both teams have forced turnovers. Both teams have looked great and have looked shaky on both sides of the football. It now comes down to these these overtime possessions. 1st and 10 in OT, first possession of the overtime for Kaminsky and the Fighting Hawks offense. It'll be Seidel on the grounds. He will bounce it outside, and he will be roped down for a loss of 4. Fantastic effort that time by the Jackrabbit safety, Kobe Bretz.
Seidel's used to being able to kind of outrun guys, and not on this play. Terrific job. He's a 4-yard loss on 1st down. Good answer by South Dakota State. And Seidel just trying to get something going. There's nothing up the middle. Tries to bounce to the outside. Jackrabbits are right there.
2nd and 14. Kaminsky rolling and firing. Dang's got the grab. He will step out at the 23-yard line. Pickup of 6, but it will be 3rd down and long.
Dang continues to get open. He's trying to hit Demontanak down the field there, but South Dakota State had it covered up.
Third down and 8. Jerry Kaminsky, the redshirt sophomore quarterback, the first-year starter. Pressure coming. North Dakota picks it up. Dang can't get turned around quick enough. That throw was hustled a bit by the pressure. Jalen Lee, Cullen McShane bringing the heat. And now it comes down to a field goal as North Dakota tries to get points on the board.
And Kaminsky had to get rid of that too. The pressure for South Dakota State. They brought a blitz on that play. He had no other choice but to get rid of that. And Dang hadn't broken out of his route yet. Incomplete.
So Kenton Loffman on. This is a 40-yard try. His career long is 32. He is 2 for 2 today. The redshirt freshman to give North Dakota the lead in the first overtime. It has got the leg. It has got the accuracy. It is good. Another clutch kick from Kenton Loffman. Fighting Hawks go up by 3.
How about that pressure? Coming in, nailing that kick. Oh, good for that young man. What a terrific job. That's not easy. Obviously, those points are huge in overtime. He goes and kicks that thing. Incredible.
So the home team gets points on the board. Loffman's 3rd made field goal of the day. But now a touchdown wins it for South Dakota State. A field goal will extend this into a 2nd overtime. Fighting Hawks defense, Jackrabbits offense. Jack Henry, the redshirt freshman, at the controls. He's been fantastic in this 2nd half. That's Goring in motion. Play action. Henry, flushed out. Cannot complete the catch to Bullock. Likely would have been out of bounds anyway if he would have hung on the sideline. You can just feel the tension in this building. Everybody on their feet. The Solaris Center crowd trying to will their defense to a stop. Kenton Loffman, the man of the moment. His 40-yard field goal just minutes ago, lifting North Dakota to this position. Jacks, though, with the football, needing a touchdown to win. Johnson stopped after a short gain. Maybe a pickup of 2.5 to bring up 3rd down and a long 7.
Once again, Jai Martin coming up. Seeing that run play, coming downhill, getting stopped there.
South Dakota State 4 for 13 on 3rd down today. They've got to get to the 15 to move the chains, or they will have a field goal try coming to push this to a 2nd overtime. North Dakota showing pressure. Henry, blitz coming up the middle. Jack Henry will sling one to the end zone. Caught! Touchdown, Jackrabbits! SDSU in overtime! An incredible comeback for South Dakota State to get to FCS postseason.
Oh, North Dakota brought the house on this play. You could see all the defenders. Wow, what a play to end this thing.
Graham Goring, the senior, laying out the catch of his life.
How about Jack Henry with 5 guys chasing after him to throw that football?
Incredible. Second touchdown pass of the day for Henry. Heartbreak for North Dakota. Elation for Jackrabbit Nation. Here's Henry. They snapped this 4-game losing streak on the road against number 13 North Dakota in the most dramatic fashion. On 3rd down and long, Henry just flings one to the end zone. For a moment, I thought that's going to be intercepted and that's going to be game over in favor of North Dakota. Instead, it's Goring snaring one right at the goal line, and Dan Jackson's team is going back to the playoffs for the 14th consecutive year, and now North Dakota has to wait and see. At 7-5, given their strength of schedule, given the fact they now have 5 losses by a combined 17 points, all against ranked teams, you would think that their fate is still okay. You'd think they're in okay shape, but it's South Dakota State who can celebrate marching off this field. Our PS Garage Doors player of the game. How about the freshman running back for South Dakota State, Josiah Johnson, with 3 rushing touchdowns. A part of this Jackrabbit rushing attack that was so effective in the first half. Give North Dakota a ton of credit for tightening up in the second and really slowing down the Jacks run game. His 3 scores, though, a big part of that SCSU comeback from down by 14.
Yeah, it certainly was, too. And you throw Loffridge in there, too, in the game that he had. But you got multiple backs, and Johnson was the guy that continued to pick up yards and get those touchdowns when they needed them.
Down on the fields, North Dakota head coach Eric Schmidt joins us along the sideline. Coach, obviously a heartbreaker today. Just talk us through what you're feeling right now on the sideline.
Yeah, I mean, just a microcosm of our season right now. Just being able to, being able to close out games and win football games, and something that we got to do a better job of here moving forward, of just being able to, have a killer instinct in the 4th quarter and find a way to get over the hump.
Coach, what's your message to the team? Obviously, they're going to be heartbroken after this one, but you look at tomorrow, and your team still has a really good chance of getting in and having success. What's your message to the team here coming in?
Yeah, you just got to stay the course, man. I mean, it's really, really hard. Guys put a lot of time and effort and work, the last 10 months into making sure that we're ready to go for these moments, and just got to continue to do a better job, like I said, of in the crucial moments, some of those 3rd downs in the 3rd quarter when we were up, 14. Really had an opportunity to be able to get off the field, get the ball back to our offense, and try to really make it hard on them, and we get some penalties, and that's the difference, man. When you when you leave teams on the field longer than turn it over inside your own 20 and give them some belief, man. That's how you find a way to be able to lose games like this. So really proud of those guys. I mean, it's everybody. Like, we're all going to look within first and see what we can do better in order to help our football team be able to keep moving forward and getting better.
Coach, I know tough loss, of course, today, but we wait and see tomorrow. We hope the season's not done. We know you believe that's the case. Congrats on a great regular season. Good luck at selection show tomorrow.
All right, thanks, guys.
Eric Schmidt and his team dealing with the emotions of being in a great position to win the football game and then having to come from behind, tying it up, going to OT, getting the field goal. Just a spectacular play by South Dakota State on 3rd and long to win it in that first overtime today.
Yeah, it really was, too. And you look at that pressure almost getting there, but just not enough. That last second throw, able to complete that. I thought he was either thrown away or, like you said, Alex, getting intercepted, and instead they come up with it, and it's almost like that shock of, game's over. So credit to South Dakota State to make that play, win the football game. Devastating loss for North Dakota.
For UND now, it does turn to Sunday as they will await to see what the committee says about this team that is 7-5 and comes up oh so close to another big victory. Graham Goring and the Jackrabbits able to win it in overtime today. Back to the Alerus to wrap it up after this.
The Fighting Hawks post-game show, presented by Sanford Health. Here for all, here for good.
It's gone final at the Alerus Center. An absolute thriller today. South Dakota State finding a way in overtime, 34-31, to get to 8-4, to snap the 4-game losing skid, and to stop this North Dakota side who was closing in on their first 8-win season in about a decade. Alex Heinert, Ryan Gosowski here with you. I think we're still processing what just happened. A lot of twists and turns over the course of the 60 minutes plus today at the Alerus.
Yeah, really, you look at the tale of two halves, too. I thought North Dakota in that first half really, dominated the run game, was able to do things against South Dakota State. And then the momentum just swung into South Dakota State's favor. And when that happens, it's really hard to get it back. Credit to North Dakota to go down, tie the game, send it to overtime, and then an even better play by South Dakota State to finish it off.
It was 17-7 in favor of North Dakota at the half as we look at the highlights from the second half. Noah St. Juste with a big interception of Jerry Kaminsky early in that third quarter after North Dakota, had gotten the field goal. Again, Kenton Loftman here to make it 20-7. Fighting Hawks had a big defensive stand to keep the Jacks out of the end zone. This was the play that really jump-started SDSU, though. Grayton Ganning hooking up with Henry 42 yards away.
Yeah, there's a perfect time to call that, too, with the safeties flying up to stop the run game. Sells it perfectly there, Henry does. And then over top where there's nobody, Lewis bit for the run, nobody over his top then.
So that made it 20-14. On the ensuing possession, the next play, Kobe Claiborne with the strip sack from behind. Green there to recover. Jackrabbits right back in business.
Yeah, that was a huge play in the game. Obviously, you just score, and then you got your offense set up in a perfect position there to go back and score again.
Yeah, just 2 plays later, Josiah Johnson able to plow in. That was his second rushing score of the day. All of a sudden, 2 touchdowns, 44 seconds apart. South Dakota State up by 1, 21-20 as we transition to the fourth. And then in that fourth quarter, after the Fighting Hawks were stopped, it was Johnson again on the other end of the field, making it an 8-point game in favor of the visitors from Brookings, 21 unanswered for the Jacks.
Yeah, and again, all the momentum was in their favor. Terrific job of putting points on the board, being opportunistic. Good job by North Dakota, though, to turn around here and be able to score.
That was so impressive. An 11-play, 85-yard drive after UND's offense had really been shut out in the second half. Nate DeMontanak with the 16-yard touchdown from Kaminsky. They needed the 2-point conversion, though, and Sawyer Seidel came up with it.
Yeah, he certainly did. Seidel sneaks out in this route, and he's open just right in front of the end zone there, able to score that thing, send it to overtime.
So that touchdown and 2-point came with 1:52 left in regulation. UND got the football first. Great 40-yard field goal for Loftman, a career long, but on 3rd down and long, The redshirt freshman Jack Henry slinging one on the run, and Graham Goring, the senior, is there.
Yeah, just gets right behind kind of Bennett Walker there. And again, it has to be a perfectly thrown football, which it was. Again, more credit to Henry to be able to throw that thing up and have it be completed for a touchdown.
You see the total numbers. Total offense about even. Jackrabbits getting it done on the ground, really for the first time this year for anybody against North Dakota's rush defense. 5 total turnovers. Neither side great on third down. It was just such an emotion-filled game, and the momentum swung from one side to the other, back and forth. A true classic that goes the way of South Dakota State in the end.
And I think we knew it was going to be that. Coming into this game, yes, South Dakota State had lost 4 in a row, but it's still South Dakota State, still a very good football team. North Dakota knew that. Again, it was just one of those games that, like you said, was kind of up and down for both teams. I don't think either team would think that was probably their best played football game, but they were able to, to make plays when they needed to, and South Dakota State just made one more play than North Dakota did.
It is that championship pedigree. That is what the South Dakota State program has had, the 2-time national champs in recent seasons. Even though the players are different, even though the staff is different, they know how to win, and they found a way to do it here in a tight game against the North Dakota side now that will have to wait and see what happens. Selection show tomorrow, 11 a.m. Central on ESPNU. We'll find out where the Jacks are going. We'll find out where North Dakota is going, if it's here, if it's someplace else, if they will make the field. We will find out after today. This will be our last broadcast for the football season as ESPN now takes over from here. Rhino, absolute pleasure, buddy.
Always,
one of the best.
Always.
One of the best. Another phenomenal year here in Grand Forks with this guy. Big thanks to all of our crew for making UND football on Midco Sports happen this season. For our producer, Tanner Robinson, our director, Greg Enkers, our technical director, Mary Horton, and our entire crew. I am Alex Seinertz. Final score in Grand Forks, South Dakota State in overtime, 34-31. The Jackrabbits get the job done on the final day of the regular season. That's all from us. Good night from Grand Forks, and thanks so much for watching.
We now join the following program already in progress.